Let's talk about our favorites from E3 2021 and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 262 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake, joined alongside Jacob Alga.
Good evening, gentlemen.
And Preston Pugh.
Good evening to y'all as well.
Reunited again, we carry on. This podcast is still alive, and I'm grateful to see you both tonight. It is approximately 9:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Atlanta, Georgia, and beyond. We're all spread out across this state, but I'm glad we could do this. How you guys doing? It's been a while.
I've been well. How about you guys?
Doing good.
Nice.
It's good to hear.
Anything new and exciting in your lives that we've missed out on in the last several weeks? Outside of video games, of course.
Last couple weeks. The week after we did the podcast, I went to a wedding up in Tennessee. That was fun.
You look good in those photos you shared.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I shared too many. I didn't take a whole lot, but yeah, it was fun to, go through the whole process of getting a new suit and, getting the shoes and whatnot, and then, booking the hotel, going up there, wearing nice clothes. It's not something I do a whole lot anymore, or ever, actually. I've never really done that. So it was sort of just fun to, do something a little different for a change and get away from, here. So, yeah, it was fun. It was good to see my little cousin get married.
Awesome.
Yep, they're great together. So, yeah, it was a good weekend.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yep. But other than that, I haven't been doing too much, honestly. Like usual. Haven't been too busy. Just been doing the usual thing.
Nice. What about you, Preston?
Yeah, nothing really too crazy. Kind of same old. Probably the wildest thing that's happened is I bought a PlayStation 3.
Interesting. What
for?
Yeah. I've been wanting one for a while just to kind of go back and play some old stuff like Sly Cooper, old school Splinter Cell. Even though I have that on PC, the thought of getting trophies for the older Splinter Cell games just sounds really fun to me. Same with Fallout 3. I never platinumed that. Back in the day, I only played it on 360. So just some things like that. And I found a really solid deal on eBay to get one for I think I paid like $150 and got 19 games with it. So I was like, might as well. So
yeah,
that's
sweet.
as wild as I've gotten. So pretty tame over here.
No, I dig that.
Congrats on your new purchase.
Yeah, thanks. I will say, thing is a just absolute piece of junk, man. It is slow as sin. The user interface is just as atrocious as I remembered it, but definitely nostalgic.
No, I imagine.
Yeah. And load times, man.
The leap two generations back at the onset of the PlayStation 5 when many people still can't get one. You're like, I'm just going to go back to the good old days and spend some time there for a while.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably not going to get to it in a while. I booted it up just to see if it worked and played a smidge of Sly 4 and ran around in the first Splinter Cell and was just absolutely shocked by the frame rate of it. But yeah, then I pretty much put it up and hopped back on PS5. But once I kind of clear my backlog out a little bit, I'm definitely probably going to spend some more time with it.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
You can also use the PS5 controller on PS3, which is incredible.
No way.
Yeah. So
I
didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't have to use that Fisher-Price toy they call a controller.
Yeah.
So
that thing is
the worst, dude.
It's terrible.
It is truly awful. So yeah, it's awesome to be able to use a PS5 controller.
Are you able to see? I'm assuming you're signing into the exact same PSN account you use now.
Yes.
Awesome.
Correct.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still regret to this day selling my PS3 and 360, but I imagine a PS3 is pretty easy to come by these days.
Yeah. Guess it just kind of depends on the model that you want. The model that's still backwards compatible with PS2 is pretty rare and expensive. But I just got the slim version, not the super slim, just the first slim, which that's the exact same model of PS3 I had back in the day. So that's the one I specifically wanted.
Cool.
So yeah,
Nice. I love that. Yeah, I've been on a bit of a nostalgia trip too. I can't really say it's entirely nostalgia just because I'm a longtime fan, but I've been playing a ton of Halo 3 and just Halo 3 from the Master Chief Collection with Zach recently, and we've just been having the time of our lives.
What platform?
PC. He's on Xbox, I'm on PC, and
Good on you, brother.
yeah, I will never be going back to console Halo. I'm sure it's going to be great
Good.
on Series X, but it is just unmatched on PC. Like any other shooter, I mean, it's just infinitely easier to be accurate with headshots and whatnot on PC versus console. So
Garrett, I came to a realization a few days ago that I'm probably going to have to buy a Series X at some point.
Oh yeah, what for?
Come on.
I've actually thought about it myself.
due to-
I'm curious as to why you feel that
Oh,
way.
you need a footstool, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
My feet have been quite sore just resting on the floor lately.
Same.
So yeah, that's reason one. Reason two is that my laptop is fine. Like, it by no means is like a complete slouch. You know, it's got a 1070 in it. Forgetting the CPU, but it's you know, I've played quite a few games on it, mainly like FF14. I played through the Outer Worlds on it, Star Wars Fallen Order, and it ran everything fine. But with more specifically Starfield coming out, I'm a little worried about how my laptop is going to be able to run that. And maybe it'll run it fine, and maybe I need to, just because that game will, you know, be on Game Pass, I should at least try it out before I go buying a whole new console. But with me traveling and stuff, and, you know, wanting to play that game on the go in hotels and stuff, it might be in my best interest to invest in a Series X. And that game is, you know, coming out in over a year, so they might be easier to come by then. But
Yeah. And you never know, like, you might be at home when it comes out.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So are Series X's still hard to find right now?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So both consoles are still pretty
Yep,
sparse.
that is correct. But I mean, there's a few more games. You know, specifically, you know, there's all the new Bethesda games and Xbox exclusive games coming out that, you know, I will want to play. But, you know, I might be occupied with just playing PS5 games when I'm out of town, and then when I come home, I can just play those games on PC. I might end up doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll feel it out. None of those games are coming out really anytime soon. The ones that I'm super interested in. So there's definitely time to feel it out.
Sure. And probably by that point too, hopefully we won't have a shortage of the console still. So if you do come to that point where you do think you need one, you won't have trouble finding it.
For sure.
But we'll see. Who knows how long this will last?
Hopefully not too much
But
longer.
Garrett, how you doing?
I'm well, Jacob. Thank you for
That's
asking.
good. Keeping busy?
Relatively, yeah. It's been it's kind of a slow week this week, but it's picking back up at the end of the week. So I'm taking time to get some things in order, get some housekeeping done, literal housekeeping. And I've spent today, actually, we were recording this on a Monday. I've been working on a Ratchet and Clank kind of commentary type video for our YouTube channel, because we have not put out a video in a very long time. I think it's been over a year at least. And I was just in the mood to do something to occupy my time, and I've had a lot of thoughts about Ratchet and Clank, which I'll pretty much verbatim share on this podcast. So whether you listen to the podcast, you go over to the YouTube channel, it's full of gameplay that I recorded and just me rambling on about why I love the game so much. So it's been far more demanding of my time than I anticipated it being. I started at like 9 a.m. and it's now almost 10, and I'm only halfway through editing it. Granted,
Nice.
I had a hiccup with the PS5. I didn't use a capture card to capture the gameplay. I was just using the PS5 capture function and wanted to capture everything in 4K, but for whatever reason, it just refused to properly copy over the 4K footage to my hard drive. I tried like every solution I could find online. Nothing
Can the
works. I had to re-record all
PS5
this gameplay.
capture it in native 4K?
It can, yeah. You just go to the settings and alter it. But
Okay.
it recorded them properly. It just wouldn't copy them to my drive. And I tried every solution possible, so I had to re-record a bunch of gameplay in 1080p, and it worked totally fine. So it's all good. But been working on that, so that's been fun. But outside of that, man, just working on little projects here and there, playing some great games, which we'll talk about. And I think that's more or less it. I've seen a couple movies since we last did a podcast that I may or may not talk about. But aside from that, just been living life, Jacob, living life.
Good. Very good.
So unless there's, Jacob and I both are enjoying some whiskey this evening. Jacob's not thrilled about his, but
Mine's
I'm enjoying
terrible.
mine.
It's called Lumberjack Rye Whiskey, and it's probably like a 3 out of 10. It's not good.
It's a bummer, dude.
Yeah, like it more than any other whiskey I've ever had needs a mixer desperately, but I don't have any. So
I've
here I
got
am.
4 roses tonight. I'm not disappointed. So it's very good. I'd say it's a step above what you have, but
I'd say it's more than
I'm
that.
glad that we're just sharing a drink in general over this digital meeting we have tonight.
100%.
So
We have some fun things to talk about.
yeah, we do. You guys just want to jump into the good stuff, what we've been playing? After you boys.
Jacob, you or me first?
So we want to do the same thing we did last time, where we sort of talk about like what we haven't, like what we've been playing that we haven't.
Let me just jump in and just interject, and let's just get straight to it. Jacob told me pre-recording that he really didn't enjoy the first Mass Effect, and I am just dying.
It's a sucky game.
I'm dying to know why you feel.
Did you finish the game?
I finished Mass Effect 1.
Okay.
Overall, I think it's a fine game. You know, I think its strong points are the world itself, and character choices and dialogue, conversations and whatnot. Mostly the strong point being the characters. I enjoy pretty much every character I interacted with in the game.
Who did you have sex with?
And
is the most important question.
Nobody.
Dude, you got to get the trophy.
No,
Are you some kind of loser, dude?
I swear to you,
It was Caden, wasn't it, Jacob? Just be
I
honest
thought
with
that I talked to my crewmates every time that I could.
Yeah.
But I was never presented with a option to do any of that at any point. So I don't know what I did wrong.
You can't talk to anyone in the video game, Jacob? Come on.
Wow.
I talked to everybody.
It lays out
Dude,
everything
I
for
had Ashley and Liara fighting over me.
Yeah. I was pursuing
Preston's
Liara.
Shepherd is pretty
Yeah,
smooth.
that's who I ended up with Liara.
I kid you not. I do not know what happened at all. I finished the game and I was
no wonder you hated
what do you
the
mean?
game.
But then I was like,
You're just an army man and save the day.
literally. I mean, I thought about going back because I had older saves, but I was like, man, do I really want to play this again? And because, like, it's not that I had a bad time with the game, but the game is like it's updated a little bit, right? Like it looks better. They might have changed some other things. I have no idea. I didn't play the original. But honestly, just the thought of playing the game again, like it really didn't sit with me well. The whole cover thing wasn't that great. I didn't enjoy the combat of the game really that much at all. The environments were really pretty mediocre. I mean, they were fine, but I really just wanted to move on to 2, especially after what you guys were saying about 2 and just how much better it was. And I can confirm that 2 is 10 times better than 1 in every way.
Gameplay wise, for sure.
I think in every way it is, in my opinion, but I haven't finished it, which we'll get into in a second. But I wish I would have had a relationship option in 1, but I can't tell you where I missed at pursuing that, because I thought I was being nice to everybody, and I was like trying to get the most out of each conversation.
That's really interesting. I swear, like my second or third time talking to Liara, there were like hints of that showing up. And so yeah, if you were talking to everybody a lot, I don't know how you weren't presented with those options.
Yeah, like literally I would do a mission, then I would talk to every single person.
Did you go through every option when you talked to them?
I thought so.
Oh.
But maybe not.
I mean,
is there a way
I guess
that
not.
you can choose one option then miss an option or something?
I mean, there's like when, especially like on when your dialogue wheel comes up, I believe the choices on the left side kind of branch out a little bit more, and the conversations will start over, and then you can pick a different choice from the left side.
That's
but I'm pretty sure like the flirting options were always the top right. But yeah, like I didn't even try like to romance Ashley whatsoever. Like I was the biggest butthole to her, and she still thought that I was like coming on to her for some reason. So
yeah, you see, I couldn't romance Ashley because I murdered her.
Nice.
She was gone. I had to get rid of her.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't like her very much. I mean, she was fine, but you know, she's a little edgy.
I'm interested. She did not perish in my game, so I'm interested to see if she develops at all, because I've already seen her in 2, and she's just a big butthole. So I'm, like I said, interested to see if she comes along in 3 or something.
I killed her.
Yeah, I know.
Good man.
I just couldn't. Caden sucks just as bad. I know he's a better person, but I'm just like, at least Ashley is kind of entertaining with how bad, like how much I don't like her. Caden is just like,
he's so average that it's like unbearable.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, both of them kind of suck.
I saw some tweet.
That interesting.
I think I saw some tweet that one of y'all liked, or was like equated Caden to like just a plain piece of bread or something like that.
Yeah, just like there's nothing interesting about his character whatsoever.
That's a good point.
I mean,
that's what made that decision so hard for me. Is I wanted to do something different for once, but at the same time, I was like, I hate that I
tried
to
become interested in him, especially when he was talking about like how he was one of the, I believe like the L2 biotics, that there are like a lot of side effects with them. And once I was kind of getting up to date on that stuff, I was like, oh, well, maybe he is more interesting than I thought, but he's not.
Probably not.
No. I mean, when you're just some like normal human, whether it be Ashley or Caden, and they're surrounded by like all these different species that are just way more interesting, it's just, you know, and even the humans in the later games, like Jack and Miranda, they're just way
better,
way more interesting. Their backstories are like way crazier and stuff. Ashley and Caden are just standard army people, so not too interesting.
Speaking of Jack, I am about to start the mission where I go get him, and he's the last person that I need to retrieve for my team.
Jack.
Oh, you haven't gotten him yet. Okay, cool.
I mean, I know it's Jack because the quest says Jack.
Yeah, I'm sure. Dude, you're going to like him a lot,
he's
dude.
a really cool character.
He's one of my favorites.
I just landed on the...
I'll be honest with you, Jacob. I'm pursuing a relationship with Jack as we speak.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's that great of a character.
I just met. I've not played Mass Effect 2 in a little bit, but I just met Liara again, and it was really cool.
Oh, dude, I have so much to say about Mass Effect 2. Holy crap!
So,
Jacob, I really want to hear from you about why you like. I mean, I think it's very obvious why you would like 2 more than 1. We've been saying this forever, but what about 2 specifically initially you were like immediately liked more than 1?
The combat. 100%.
Yeah, combat is
actually fun. Like the game's fun to play.
I think your issue with 1 is you were actually using cover.
Yeah, I mean,
1, it's way more advantageous. Is that even a word? It's advantageous. I don't know. You know what I mean? To just kind of like aim down the sights and peek around the corner as opposed to actually getting in cover. Mass Effect 1 is just so easy. Like on the hardest difficulty, skated through that game. And I think I said in the last podcast, Mass Effect 2 sometimes is so hard that I've wanted to just like drop kick my TV on insanity.
Yeah, dude, it's hard on normal sometimes.
So I'm playing on normal.
Yeah.
Just like I'm just enjoying the game. The guns feel nicer to play with. I like this is such like a small minor thing, but I like actually choosing a loadout, and like each of my squad members has a slightly different loadout, and I actually play around with their loadouts mid combat. Like if we're all at range, you know, I'll make sure me and I don't know what's her name, the stealth chick. I forgot her
Kasumi?
name, but I'll make sure both of us have like a sniper out, and then like if I run in, I'll switch to my shotgun. And I just unlocked Grunt, the Krogan.
He's
so
great.
He has a shotgun too. I love
Yeah, he's
Grunt.
awesome.
He's awesome. Everyone was like so hesitant of me opening his pod, but I was like, no, of course I'm gonna let this guy out. He's the perfect Krogan. What do you mean?
Destroys your ship instantly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought that could happen, but just reload a save. But yeah, that's the biggest thing about Mass Effect 2 is that I love all the characters a lot more too. There hasn't been a single character that I've really disliked. Really, I'm not a huge fan of like the bounty hunter guy. I forgot his name. I
always forget about him
Yeah,
too.
I just did his mission
Caden,
actually.
Kasumi.
Kafid or something.
Yeah, so
What's his name?
Kasumi and that guy were DLC characters. They weren't originally a part of the
really?
game, so yes, they are.
That's why you can't like talk to
No
them.
wonder I didn't remember anything
Yeah,
from Kasumi.
you
I
can
was like, I don't
definitely
remember any of
tell
this.
they were kind of like shoehorned in
Tacked
a little
on.
bit. Yeah, so
Yeah, because you can't even really have like full on conversations with either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
you can like press X to talk to them, and then they like eventually
Yeah.
tell you to go.
So
away.
Yeah.
you just do.
There's no dialogue.
You don't have to like you earn their trust immediately when you do their mission, whereas everybody else,
Yeah.
you have to.
They're the only two that I have their
Yeah.
trust.
So yeah, those were added in DLC, which is why they kind of feel a little like they don't feel as like meshed in the story as everybody else does. So
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Kasumi is cool. I
Yeah,
liked her mission.
Yeah, that was a cool
Yeah.
mission for sure. I just did that one actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her mission. The other dude, not so much, but I did like enjoy like him like getting mad at me for not killing that guy that we went to go to the planet for, because we went there to save people.
Yeah.
But didn't kill the guy. He got away. Whether or not we actually see him again, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the game. I mean, obviously the game looks better. It's just better in literally every other way.
Did you
I
imported
can't
your
stress
character,
that
right?
enough. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I changed my class though. I'm pretty sure.
What'd you go with?
I think I have a stealth ability now, and I have like this like fire. Should I shoot like fire or something?
Are you can
I don't-
you can do camouflage? You're an infiltrator.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
am.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I found that really useful actually.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm like pinned down with 3 people shooting rockets at me, I'll just hit that, run over to the side, and just unload on people.
Yeah.
And I just unlocked a flamethrower actually, so I've been using the flamethrower a lot.
Nice.
Which is I'll pair those two together. Yeah, I just feel like the game is just a better game, just simply. Not that Mass Effect 1 is a bad game. I just think 2 is just better, and it's made me a lot more interested to keep going. I will be honest. After 1, I was like, man, like I'm gonna try to, but like, am I gonna get through this whole series? Like, we got a lot of games coming out. I was like, I don't know, but the more that I've played 2, the more that I'm definitely gonna keep going with it.
Nice.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I don't
dude.
know-
Glad to hear it.
I don't know why 1 just impressed me so much. I guess because of just how old it was and just my memories of 1 just were so like foggy. I didn't really remember it too much, and it just kind of like exceeded those set expectations I had for it, and I just enjoyed it so much more than I thought I was going to enjoy it for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like I was actually playing when I was actually understanding the universe for the first time. Whereas I just played 2 and 3, and I really didn't know like the actual lore of the games, because the 2 story is pretty straightforward. Like you don't really have to know everything. It's kind of same with 3, but kind of starting over again and actually trying to understand the lore and stuff, I think is what made 1 so fun for me. So
Yeah, I also think like I'm not a big fan of playing old games. Like I'm very much someone that really, really enjoys like new games and how nice they are, and like how do I say this, like new games don't have like all those weird quirks that old games used to have. Like things are relatively very I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say. It's like most games, new games, have always learned from either some other game's mistake or their own mistakes as time goes on. And I'm not saying there's like major mistakes in older games, but there's like mechanics and the way it even feels. Oh my fire alarms going off here again. I might have to. You guys might have to carry on without me for a minute.
Okay, now we're good. Hopefully he cuts that out.
He can edit that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mainly it. Like I don't know, like one, like I said, it's not bad by any means. It's fine. I think it does some things really, really well, and I think the remaster, from what you guys have said, it makes it much better than it ever was.
Way better.
And I got through it. I mean, at the very least. So
that's fine. I'm glad you got through it. I mean, we always told you that if for some reason you burn out on one, to at least go into 2 because it was a much better game to play. So yeah, glad you got through 1 and are on to the better game now.
And also, you're right. Carrying your character over from 1 to 2 is definitely impactful.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. Like the start of Mass Effect 2 is awesome. Like it's awesome. And then like the mission that you can go do that relates to that is awesome too. I mean, it's not like awesome, but it's
that's actually cool. That was I don't want to be too spoiler, even though we've been a little spoiler already, but the inspecting the crash is what you're talking about. Yeah, that was a DLC mission, believe it or not. That wasn't in the original game. So there's a lot of stuff, like a layer of the Shadow Broker, which I have never played and I am extremely interested in playing. I don't know if you've met Liara yet, but I don't think you have. I believe she's on a planet called Ilium, but she's involved in... do you remember the Shadow Broker from the first game? Yes, so this DLC is kind of... this isn't too spoilery, but Liara really isn't in a lot of the game. She is more of like a contact in this game, and I don't know if back in the day fans were not a big fan of that, and that might have been a reason why this DLC they did kind of involves Liara a lot more. But anyways, that DLC I'm referring to, I've never played. So because Liara is the person I romanced, I'm very interested in seeing how they flesh her out in this game and to see where that relationship goes with that DLC. So
wish I could relate. She was who I would have, romanced. But here we are.
She's a cool character. She's even cooler in the second game. She's not as like kind of naive as she was in the first one. So yeah, she's really cool.
That's cool. I don't think I have too much more to say.
I don't know if naive is a good word. I think innocent is a better word.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, like I said, I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I think I'm still in the early parts of the game.
Yeah.
Because I had just gotten to it right before Ratchet and Clank came out. So I haven't played it too much. I think I'm like maybe 5 to 10 hours in. So
gotcha.
Just really enjoying it, but taking my time.
Well, I'll speak on something that I know you haven't played, but I caught the Returnal bug again and have pretty much played that the past 2 days exclusively. I was in the 5th biome for a while. It was kicking my butt, and it was really getting to me because I kept seeing more and more people on Twitter beating the game. And like I said, this 5th biome was just beating my head in. So it was just really annoying me that all these other people were able to beat it, but I couldn't. So I was like, I just kind of thought like, okay, if I just sit down and beat this, I can. So, and that's essentially what happened. So I sat down for like I said, the past 2 days and just really grinded it out, got completely focused on the game and was able to beat the game.
Congrats.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, thanks.
Is this a game that you can platinum, or is it kind of challenging?
It is not challenging per se. It is more annoying / time consuming to platinum than hard. So the last biome of the game is pretty challenging, especially if you're not well equipped. The final boss of the game, however, is a chump. I absolutely massacred him, which I loved because I was horrified to to play. I will say the first time I got to him, I had a sliver of health left, and I got him to the final stage. Final stage, half his health, and ended up dying. And of course, that was just devastating. It like ruined my night.
How long does it take to get to him? Or is it random?
So I don't want to be spoilery, but you always start. The game is, I don't think it's too spoilery. The game is split into 2 sections. Each section consisting of 3 biomes. So when you first start the game, once you finish the 3rd biome, you restart at the second half of the game. And every time you die from that point forward, you restart at that first biome. So every time you die and you go back to the first biome, if you've gotten to the 2nd or 3rd biome, you can automatically jump to the 2nd or 3rd biome from the first biome. But you kind of have to prepare yourself a little bit. You need to run around the first biome a little bit, kind of get your health up, maybe get some better weapons, get your proficiency up a little bit on your weapons. The thing though is that your proficiency, there is an item at the start of each biome you go to, the 2nd or 3rd biome, that will raise your weapon proficiency to a level that is good for that area. So if you just run through the first biome and don't even shoot anything and get to the 3rd biome, you can pick up an item that raises your level to like 25, I believe. So from that point onward, you'll be getting weapons that are level 25, and max level is 30 there. Granted, your health won't be super big. You won't have a lot of artifacts or other items that, make you more powerful. So pretty much, I guess your original question, how long it takes for an optimal, my like optimal playthrough of going around, getting my health up, getting an adequate weapon and stuff, probably takes around 20-30 minutes to get to the 3rd biome.
So how does that feel like? So if you beat the boss on your 2nd time, I guess you really didn't like go through the struggle of like repeating that. But that could get aggravating.
It took me a few times to actually get to the final boss.
Gotcha. Because the last level is
the last biome is very challenging. There are these enemies that are like seeker missiles that will just fly at you. There are these orbs that will shoot out these red rays in these crazy patterns that are just really hard. And there is another thing with the world that I don't want to spoil that affects the way that you move, that is completely different from every other biome. So that also affects it. The story is what kind of surprised me a little bit. I haven't got the secret ending yet. So when I say I've beaten the game, I have rolled credits, but there is a item that there's an item that you can find in each biome that unlocks a secret ending. And I have 3 of them. So I just have to go get the other 3, beat the final boss one more time, and then it unlocks the final ending. But I'm interested to see what it was, because the first ending, and I kind of checked online to see what everybody else was thinking, and it's essentially what I was thinking. It's a little like, I don't want to say up in the air, because I thought it was kind of obvious what was going on, but I just wanted to make sure that I was on the right page and I wasn't like completely taking it the wrong way. But I think everybody's pretty much on the same page, and it's very interesting what exactly is going on in the game. I think it's really cool. So really enjoyed that. The gameplay is just fun, dude. It is the perfect podcast game, which is kind of another thing I've been craving for a little bit. It's just because these story segments are so spread out that 99% of the time you're just playing the game. And this is definitely one of those games that you just zone out and, can just play and listen to something. So anyways, in terms of the platinum, you just have to get all the collectibles, which with this being a roguelike game, they are random. So if I spent about an hour and a half this morning, trying to find the last collectible on the first biome, and I just ran through it over and over and over and over again until I found it. So I've got to do that for all the 5 other biomes. So
You don't have to.
I'm going to.
You could just
I'm
not.
going. I mean, I've already beaten the game. I might as well platinum it, So
I mean, you don't have to.
You know how my brain works, Jacob. I do have to.
I do.
So,
I'm just reminding you that you don't
I know,
have
but
to.
I'm going to. I'm not going to I think it's going to be something that I'm going to do over time. I think I'm going to try and at least every time I sit down to play games, just kind of maybe 30 minutes to an hour, just do a few runs, see if I can knock out a few collectibles and
got a podcast you want to listen to, pop it on, knock out a collectible.
I don't want to play a podcast of Mass Effect. Don't want to listen to Don't want to listen to a podcast when I'm playing Ratchet and Clank. Things near Replicant. Definitely don't want to listen to a podcast playing that game. So when I am in that mood, this is the perfect game to play. So, Garrett, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I was just saying, I went back and I finished Returnal yesterday.
Nice.
So,
are you satisfied with the conclusion?
I was. The story is rad. Did not expect what was actually going on in the story. Kind of took me by surprise. But yes, I'm going for the secret ending now and trying to get the platinum. But yeah, this is a fun time.
I haven't played that game since the week it came out, I think. So I'll probably go back to it at some point. I caught the Mass Effect bug, and now obviously I'm back in Mass Effect now because I beat Ratchet and Clank. But I'll probably go back.
I will say Ratchet and Clank and Returnal, very similar gameplay wise feeling, like with the adaptive triggers, the dash mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like playing through Returnal and especially just like beating that game and then jumping back over to Ratchet and Clank. I'm like a pro Ratchet and Clank player essentially, just with them feeling similar. Like I'm like not even getting hit at all. But anywho, yeah. What were your thoughts on Mass Effect?
I was just going to say I've been blown away by some of the side missions that I guess I completely overlooked originally because Liara was not my romance in Mass Effect 1 in my original playthrough, but most recently she was, and reconnecting with her in Mass Effect 2, she has one of the craziest side mission and like the revelation and conclusion of her side mission.
Are you talking about Lair of the Shadow Broker?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not played that yet. I'm so excited to
I
play
won't spoil it, dude. That mission was insane. Just the layers to it and the length of it and where it concludes and what you get as a reward from completing that mission is just insane.
That's so cool. I've always heard that's one of the best DLC like things ever.
Yeah, I could not believe how in-depth it was. And that's what's funny is that it starts out so tedious. It's almost like they trick the player into thinking if you can get through this tedious part, you get rewarded greatly. Because when it started, I'm like, this is weak. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done in Mass Effect so far. But once you get deeper into the story, it becomes something really special. So really love that. And
that's cool.
Outside of that, just all the side missions I'd either skipped over or not really paid attention to dialogue or just new revelation with dialogue I didn't fully grasp initially has been fun. And I've loved it. So having the time of my life in Mass Effect 2. So taking it pretty slow too. I've been savoring that one. So granted, I did take a long break. Really not even long, maybe like 5 or 6 day break with Ratchet and Clank. But outside of that, I'm totally back into Mass Effect 2. So going to be playing that and 3 for the time being.
Nice.
So I'll keep it at that for now.
Hey,
anyway, where were we outside? Are we still talking about what we've been playing?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I know we're all going to talk about Ratchet, but I just, like I said, I played a little bit of Returnal, and then the other thing that I played was Final Fantasy VII Intergrade. I guess the intermission DLC with Yuffie. So, Garrett, I told you I was going to platinum remake again.
Mm-hmm.
Already did it.
Did you really?
It auto pops all the trophies. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so didn't even have to play through it again.
Nice. I was about to say.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So.
How quickly can you access that DLC?
Immediately. It's on the like once you boot the game up, there's just an option to select the DLC.
That's cool.
Played through a little bit of it. Dude, the combat is awesome. Yuffie
This is 60 FPS, right?
Yes. First of all,
Nice.
yeah, it looks incredible. It plays incredible. But just Yuffie playing as her, her ability is that she is able to, at will, switch her element. So she has all the elements on herself. So you don't have to worry about like switching all your materia around to exploit weaknesses on an enemy. You can just it's just one of her skills that's a part of her weapon. So that immediately makes fighting just way easier. And just her mainly the first weapon that you start off with, its ability is you can throw it at somebody, and it's like it'll like hover around them. Like, you know, she has that giant shuriken, so you can throw it at somebody and it'll just stay on their body and spin. And then you can do like these cool ninjutsu moves by pushing square to make her shuriken become elemental. So that's how you do that damage. So she's like, she can be a long ranged character, or she can be close quarters character. So really fun to play as. She almost feels like kind of overpowered, which is really fun. But yeah, I haven't played too much of it. Only about an hour. Digging the story thus far. Yuffie's just really dorky and cool. So I'm enjoying her, and it's nice to kind of see all the other characters and them not really know who you are. I'm just running around Sector 7 slums and seeing, Jesse and Wedge and stuff, just kind of talking, and you can go up to them and listen to what they're saying and stuff. But this DLC takes place when Cloud goes missing, when you're fighting the Airbuster and he falls. So they're kind of just, talking about how they can't find him, and they're worried about him. So definitely interested to see where the story goes. But yeah, it looks beautiful, super fun. So looking forward to get to that when I do. But,
I'm planning on playing that one soon too. Probably after ME2.
Nice.
If I had to put a guess on it. I tried something else to change subject. I tried the demo for Stranger of Paradise. I don't know if anyone else has.
I did too. Yes.
What is this? Is that
chaos?
Yeah, that we have to kill chaos.
Have to kill chaos.
I'm here to kill chaos.
Man.
The game is fine.
I would agree with you. It's fine.
I think a lot of its systems they work. I guess I kind of like the whole thing where I don't even remember what it's called, but like so for those who don't know, it's basically Team Ninja. They're making like a Dark Souls like Final Fantasy game.
A Neo like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's a better comparison.
Yeah.
Graphically, it looks very early on, or unless that's just how the game is going to look. I would hope not.
Jacob, don't be nice. It looks awful.
It looks terrible.
This looks like a game that I would boot up on the PS3 I just bought, honestly. And it runs like it too.
Don't really understand the point of the party members, to be honest. They're just kind of there. I guess they attack sometimes. Sometimes they distract the enemies, But I don't know. I really couldn't get the hang of the game when I was playing it. Maybe I just suck, but I was dying several times to like low level enemies, and it took me a while to like really sort of get the hang of a few things.
Got to get that parry down with the circle button. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because initially I was just trying to block with L1, and like some enemies can just rip through that and just destroy you. So it took me a second to get the hang of that. But I don't know. Like the game, it could be better in a lot of ways, I think. I can't really say I had a good time with it. I mean, it's not a very long demo. But,
did you beat it?
No, I didn't beat it.
I will say the boss was pretty hard.
Yeah, I fought him once. I was like, I don't want to do this.
It took me like 7 or 8 tries to beat him, honestly. He was pretty hard, but
he destroyed me. Yeah. I was like, I don't have time for this.
A lot of parrying you have to do with him. But that actually was the funnest part of the experience to me, because I honestly was kind of just ripping through everything to get up there. Okay. And I had quite a hard time with him. And of course, I look it up on YouTube and see guys just like absolutely destroying him, not getting hurt one time, which makes me feel just so stupid that I had such a hard time with him. But that boss fight actually made me a lot more interested in the game, because just, having played Neo and stuff and playing that boss fight, I can definitely see what they can do with this game. And it's very obviously extremely early. Once you beat the boss, there's a survey you can partake in, and I actually seriously answered questions and stuff on how I felt about it. So I definitely think that there is some really cool potential for this game. So interested to see where they take it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely interested in a game like that in Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy realistically has always been sort of one kind of play experience, and besides the MMOs, I guess. And I guess there's the tactics games, but this is definitely a new thing for Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
so it's always cool to see something like that. The characters, they suck. So I don't really know what they could do with that.
Yeah, but. and he got a lot of crap for his starting gear, which it does look stupid. But within 5 seconds of you starting, you get new armor. So you don't look like that, for about 5-10 minutes tops. So it's not a big deal. You actually look like a Final Fantasy character, once you start playing. So
you actually kind of look like someone from, I don't know, maybe 15.
Yeah.
If I had to put a comparison.
Yeah, the starting gear is 15, but once you actually get some gear, you look more classically, or like classic fantasy, Final Fantasy. So,
yeah, don't really have much more to say, but I did try that.
Nice. Well, cool. I guess the only other thing we've been playing, unless Garrett has something obscure, is Ratchet and Clank.
No, that's it for me. Just Halo, Mass Effect, and Ratchet and Clank.
Nice.
So, who's beaten the game?
Me.
As have I. Who's platinum the game?
Preston, have you beaten it?
I've not beaten it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Interesting.
I've been taking my sweet time with it. Collecting everything, upgrading all the weapons. I think I'm at the very end, but I've thought that before, but I'm pretty sure I'm at the very end. So
what do you need to go do right now?
Go talk to somebody to start something.
You're at the end.
Yeah, you're at the end.
That's what I figured, but I'm finished all the challenges or whatever, and like I said, just collecting everything. So I only have 2 or 3 more trophies. So I think
shockingly easy platinum.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even easier than the 2016 game.
Yeah, you don't have to even... I've been leveling up all my weapons, and then I saw that's not even a trophy.
Yeah. Same. I will say that
dang.
they're infinitely more fun. I mean, they're fun initially too, but they're even more fun once you level them up. But yeah, there's only one trophy for upgrading one weapon all the way.
Yep, that was my last trophy.
Or a couple. It's I think you get a trophy for just upgrading any weapon all the way, and then there's one for that shield weapon that you get. That's
I hate
specific.
that weapon. So don't. It's so stupid.
I tried to get that one. I tried to get that one out of the way as soon as possible, so I didn't have to use it.
I had beaten the game, and I had only had it at level 1. I never used it.
Oh wow! Yeah, I got it to level 5 really quick, right after I got it.
Smart man.
Yeah. I pretty much have everything on level 5, minus the Rhino. I just got that. And the Glove of Doom, I believe. I think everything else I have is level 5.
Is the Glove of Doom the one that is the little tiny guys that run towards enemies?
They're so
the little
helpful.
Zircon Juniors.
They're so much better than the mushroom dudes.
Mr. Fungi.
The benefit of the mushroom guys is that they can actually shoot enemies that are floating.
Yeah. So I guess just overall, since you guys have beaten the game, what are your kind of overall thoughts of it?
You go first, Jacob.
Sure. So I think, there's many places we could start here, but visually and performance-wise, I think the game is probably the best thing on the PS5, period. I pretty much played the whole game on performance ray tracing, which is, I think you'd be crazy not to play it on that.
I know, right?
It it is mind blowing how like good it looks. And like I made the mistake of when I first started the game, I was on like, I think I was just on performance, which is only 30 frames per second. And then I didn't realize that till like a quarter of
fidelity?
the way. Sure, I don't know which one it was. But I was playing on 30 frames and I didn't even know it. But I was like, this doesn't feel like 60. So I like went into my settings. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm like 3 planets deep, and I'm like I've been playing the game this whole time.
Insane infidelity though.
And I switched. I was like, oh my gosh, and like I was originally gonna quit that night too. Like I changed it to then I was like, okay, I'm not stopping. Like I'm gonna play for like an hour or at least more. And like I was just like from that moment on, I was mind blown at how good the game looked. In terms of like. I think this game had a lot more, without spoiling anything, it had a lot more of, like, I had a feeling it was going to go back and forth between Ratchet and Rivet, but it really felt like Rivet was pretty much had the spotlight for the most part in this game, which I don't have a problem with. I think she's a great character, and I think sort of the dynamic between all 4 of the main characters, I would say, in this game is pretty solid, and I think the story overall really worked for me. And I thought there were some pretty good, like, character tropes and like character personalities, like, you know, traits or whatever you want to describe them, that like I think that it made for a pretty good story overall. And it really like it kind of got me excited for the future, honestly, because just seeing the character development between like Rivet and Ratchet throughout the whole game, and like where that could potentially lead, like later on down the road in future games, it really gets me excited, because Ratchet and Clank's always just been, you know, Ratchet and Clank, and the idea that there's so much more in this universe through like this, I guess, I don't even know how you want to describe this, like the 2 parallel universes that sort of have like, because of the rifts that have been opened or whatnot, without getting too spoilery. I just don't know what the future is going to hold, but I definitely know that I want more Rivet. I'll tell you that, because I think she's great. I think all the weapons are fantastic, like we briefly mentioned. My favorite being the I forget what the name it is of it, like what it is, but it's the lightning gun. I really love that
thing
gun.
Is super handy.
Lightning rod.
Use that a lot too.
Lightning rod. That sounds right. So here was like my typical strategy. At least early on, this is what I would do. I'd throw out the sprinkler, then I would switch to the Glove of Doom, throw that out. Then I would either switch to like the big super soaker, whatever that was. I don't remember the name of that one either. Or I'd switch to the lightning gun, and that would be my typical strategy throughout the whole game. And I would always try to like switch to every gun just for the sake of upgrading them all, and you know, and using them all, leveling them all up, upgrading them through the robot lady. And I enjoyed the whole loop of that. I thought it was fun. Where else do we want to go here? All the worlds are, you know, they're all uniquely different, and they all have their interesting tropes about them. I enjoyed like all the, you know, the grinding, the gravity boot portions. I enjoyed all like the crystals on some planets that you could hit, and they would like switch to a different reality, and you would like have to sort of solve little mini puzzles. None of the puzzles were ever really hard in the game, and I think that might be one of my biggest gripes about the game, was that it wasn't hard even on the hardest difficult. Well, I didn't play on the hardest. I played on the second hardest, so maybe I should have tried the hardest. But game wasn't really hard.
I don't think it did anything on the same level as like that one level in Titanfall 2, where switching back and forth between time periods is like essential in terms of like combat and platforming and puzzle solving and stuff. Same thing with like Dishonored, that Dishonored 2 level where you're going back in time. It kind of just seemed like it was used in like a linear fashion, like, oh, here's 100%. A closed door, let me jump to this other dimension just to walk past the closed door. So.
Yeah, and the only reason you would ever like need to go back is if you missed like a little one of those collectible robots, is what I had to go do. I had to I forgot what, I think it was like Bison, or it was the planet that was like in outer space, like it had been destroyed or something.
Yeah.
And then like the other reality, it was fully functional.
I think that's the most
completely
beautiful
fine.
planet in the game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there were several, but yeah, yeah. I don't even remember what I was talking about, to be honest.
Speaking of that planet,
oh, difficulty.
I think
Go ahead.
the best character in the game, maybe character interaction, is Jim the robot. If y'all
Can't
remember
remember who
him.
that is.
The robot who is like obsessed with being your best friend.
Oh yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's
Mhm.
when you go
Oh,
back.
you're talking about the guy that's underwater.
No,
He's on that planet, is he? Am
no.
I getting him mixed up with a different robot?
You're getting them mixed up. There's two different robots. Jim is the
Okay.
one.
Are you talking
who,
about the fixer?
Oh, the other one's with the. I'm not going to spoil that for anyone too. I know who you're talking about. Now.
He's the one that when you go back to the planet, he's like, "Oh, my best friend's back," and Rivet's like, "Oh, hey,
yeah.
Jim." Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved their interactions with each other. I thought it was
my
great.
favorite bit with him is when he goes around the corner and he's like, "Oh, who are you? Are you going to be my best friend?" And it's one of those
Yeah.
goon bros. He's like, "What?" That
Dude,
was
those
so funny.
Those goons crack me
They
up.
are hilarious, dude.
So funny.
I
At the
recorded
beginning,
a whole sequence. Yeah, when he's talking to Nefarious.
oh yeah, about getting a pay raise or something.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
really, the pay raise for all this weird stuff going on. So funny.
I love. This is kind of towards the end of the game, so not like spoiler, but there's a set of them, and I think he says they're talking to each other, and they're like, dude, I don't think you could fit through that. Your biceps are too big. And he's like, whoa, dude, you really mean that? Thanks, man.
It's hilarious, dude.
They're-
They're by
they're
far
great.
my favorite enemies in the game. That's what I love is the enemy variety is really strong in the game too. But those guys are my favorite.
Yeah, just between them and Jim the robot and the one that you were referring to with Juice,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
all those interactions are just like, and I don't want to. I think Kit itself might be a spoiler, but
Mhm.
they're amazing too. Just like
Yeah.
there's so many just fantastic character interactions and just like dialogues that happen throughout the game. It was I was cracking up like. Quite frequently, like as I was playing through it.
Yeah, a world that really stands out to me, I think, was the pirate world. I love the theme of that place. And I thought I had fun there.
What's that guy's name? LaPierre.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
pretty
pirate. He's hilarious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, we were doing the tournament or something with Rivet at Zerky's. He's like, "Oh, Monsieur Rivet!" The way he
Sacre
says
bleu.
it. Yeah, it's so funny.
He's awesome. Zircon Jr. is hilarious too.
Hmm.
Just his commentary. He's got to be the same voice actor for like Invader Zim. I'm pretty sure. Sounds
Maybe.
just
That's what it
like
sounds
that
like.
character.
I will say I mentioned this briefly in the Discord because Kyle brought it up, Bojangles, but the shotgun challenge early on in the game is not easy. I don't know if you guys conquered that one early on, the Bronze Cup, but that shotgun challenge was beating my butt for a while, and I eventually decided to quit and just come back to it later because like I had not used the shotgun at all at that point. It was level 1.
I love that thing.
Yeah, I came to love it after I used it more, but man, early on trying to do that cup with like trying to kill 25 enemies. Just with the shotgun,
Hmm.
it was kind of hard. So that and the there's a rocket challenge too. Whenever you get the rocket,
Mhm.
those are the only two that I really had problems with. Though every other challenge was pretty basic. That was probably the hardest parts in the whole game for me. Honestly, it didn't really die any other point.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, what really stood out to me that I really loved is that everything you guys have said as well were the smaller gameplay aspects are just variations of the world that would make it was just continually fun to me. Like every time I never really got tired of the combat. Even if it was just purely combat the whole game, I would have been satisfied with it. But for example, on Rivet's home planet, I talk about this in the video.
Sargasso.
Yeah, I was trying to go out of my way to 100% in that world before I left it.
Yeah,
And I kept-
nope.
I kept practically glitching my way into areas I wasn't supposed to be in yet. And I would get there and be like, why is there nothing here? And I was so mad because I was looking for like
Yep.
gold bolts and collectibles and like all kinds of crap. And I realized that the game wants you to really play at its pace because I was trying to outpace the game on many planets. And then by the third planet, I realized like I can backtrack and come back and do stuff later.
I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what I did. And that's how I sort of play games too.
Mm-hmm.
So
like I was determined. I'm like, I'm not leaving here until I 100% it. And then I realized.
Yeah, because there's so much stuff on that planet. Like that planet's probably the biggest in terms of like what you can do on it.
Yeah. And that's what I thought was fun is because I rushed into like when you get to the Zerpstone part, we're like, oh, our dragon needs some Zerpstones. I'm like, I'm running around like just the ground. all the names in the game is so funny too. But I'm running around and picking up all the ones in the ground. And then I'm like, well, how the heck do I get up to the towers and like the mountains? And I was
I was trying to jump up them.
Same, dude. I was like, what is happening?
I was trying to find like cliffs that I could like
trying to find like a
from.
ramp with the speedles to get up there and stuff. And then like a cutscene happens like, oh, like whatever Zori or whatever her name is, the dragon can fly up there and you can use fireballs. And like it's like things continually unlock to make gameplay more and more interesting and more fun.
First you unlock her, then you unlock her and then you get fire.
Correct.
So
yeah.
I unlocked her and then I was still trying to get them.
Me
I was
too.
like, why can I not get them yet?
Like, why can't I jump off
them.
of her at the top here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would just tell you that early on because I spend way too much time frustrated over that.
Yeah. That's one of my few gripes about the game.
Yeah, I think there's only one gold bolt that for the life of me I couldn't figure out. And it was way later in the game and I had to look it up and it turns out it was like a story mission where you backtrack for like a main mission to this planet is when you finally get that final gold bolt.
Yeah.
So,
I looked up, or I didn't like look them up, but I looked up some of them because like if I sat there for a few minutes and I couldn't figure out how to get it, then, I wasn't going to waste my time and just run around like an idiot.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the gold bolts in 2016 or like the original game having perks to them. I think you just collected them for a trophy because in this game I love that each gold bolt was more than just you're earning a trophy, but you're unlocking all these perks that a lot of them are so much fun, like changing your weapon, skins, big head, little head, gold weapons, infinite health, infinite ammo, which don't affect your trophy gain, which I think is awesome. So once you unlock this, for my last few trophies, dude, I was just like Superman flying through the game. It was great.
Yeah, I didn't turn them on until New Game Plus.
Same, that's when I used them. So, but yeah, I love that they had little perks attached, and all the armor sets are cool too. More so than just, I thought it was cool too that you don't have to wear the armor to actually gain the perks. Like you still have the perks, but you can mix and match armor if you want.
Yeah.
I didn't really wear helmets. I would wear helmets briefly if I'm just exploring, doing collectibles for fun. But whenever I knew I was going to be in cutscenes, I think just the animations are so beautiful. I didn't want them covered up by the helmets.
It takes your helmet off automatically.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Speaking of like how they look, like the fur on Rivet and Ratchet looked incredible. Like a lot of people have made this comparison, but it looks like Pixar. Like it looks that good.
Their character models are absolutely nuts. Just how their clothes react, like when Rivet lifted her leg up and you actually see the crease like where her thigh goes and stuff, and how
what are you looking at, dude?
What? When she when she jumps in the air, I was just noticing. Gosh.
Checking out Rivet.
Dude, I really love Rivet. I mean Ratchet. That's who I was looking at. How
we accept all kinds of people here. If you want to be a furry, you can be a furry.
It's just so detailed. It's just like literally everything is like accounted for. Just like when they're in motion to standing still, stuff like that. Yeah, just ridiculous.
Yeah, the level of detail and things I talk about in my video too that just blew my mind. And you see this in other games too. It's just that Insomniac really didn't leave anything out in such a cartoony game. Or even when you're firing off weapons, shells fall all over the ground, and depending on the surface you're on. For example, I have this video of me standing on these wooden planks in the pirate world, firing that blaster pistol, and shells are flying everywhere, and the shells are like falling into the cracks of the wood I'm standing on, which I thought was pretty amazing. Yeah. So. Really
I
cool.
will say, to say one negative thing, I guess we said like one other thing, but I really didn't think the rift thing was that cool. Like it was cool when you were using it for puzzles. I thought it was really nice there. But in like mid combat, I was using it sometimes, but really not that much.
I didn't use the rift. I guess you could call them mini teleportation portals in the middle of combat. I didn't use them too much there.
And that was like the whole shtick with the game. So I want to like mention that because like I think it was cool just in terms of like the technology of doing that and like pulling yourself to you're pulling yourself to another dimension, but you're still in the same dimension. I don't know how it works. but it's basically just like a little teleport. But I thought, like, I don't even know if you could have done it better. And it wasn't like terrible, right? Like, I don't want to like say it was awful. Like, it was cool, I guess, but it wasn't like, game selling, right?
I will say, like, in terms of a technical show, that's what's great about this game is it's far more than a technical showcase, but it is like truly a technical showcase. Especially there's like the seamlessness between. Yeah, it's unreal. I love opening those mini rifts that are they kind of remind me of shrines in Legend of Zelda, albeit like far simplified in comparison. But you open a mini rift and do like a small little puzzle for an armor piece, and just going in and out of it is seamless without loading is incredible. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, like when you I loved when I unlocked the rocket boots and you you tap the L2 to go like 4 times to go super fast. Mm-hmm. Like you remember the planet where you like had the huge ramps and you're going over like the huge like crevices in the earth.
Yeah.
Like I was like it would take less than 10 seconds to jump that gap, get back to the ship, fly to another planet, and be back in. Like it's that quick. Yeah, and it was awesome.
Wild.
I loved it. And I was always zooming around. Ever since I got those, it was so.
Those are fun to use in combat too. Actually, the boots.
Yeah.
If you're in a wide enough space, it can be pretty fun.
It was funny when I went to New Game Plus. Like, you don't have that yet, so I
felt naked at the beginning of New Game Plus. Yeah, because you don't even have the dash initially either, so it feels very bare bones. It's crazy to think mechanically what they added to this game versus. I haven't played any of the games in between, obviously, but even just the 2016 remake. I know that's technically the original game, but it is drastic how many mechanics are added on just in terms of the platforming and traversal and combat.
And you just played that one, so.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see that leap overall.
I also have the platinum. I don't know if I said that, but I do.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna blow your minds. I played on just performance 99% of the time. I didn't do ray tracing because I played it back and forth for the first few hours, and at least on my TV, I noticed a drastic dip in resolution in a lot of places with ray tracing on, and then I just wanted the resolution plus the frame rate. And my mindset in that was because I would occasionally turn it to fidelity just to savor like the full 4K ray tracing, insane lighting. Like, it is unbelievable how good it looks in fidelity. It looks phenomenal in both other modes too, but I would try to force myself just to honestly humor myself, like combat scenarios in fidelity. And I don't know, especially toward the end of the game, it gets so chaotic. I don't know who in their right mind could play that game in 30 frames per second. It's just there's so much motion blur, and a lot of it feels like slow motion that I'm like, I feel like it's impossible to play this well at 30 frames per second. But I opted for just performance without ray tracing because as much as I like ray tracing, and I know that part of that has to do with the lighting too, but even just like the reflection aspect of the ray tracing, there's still like baked in fake reflections that are lower res, but fake reflections in a lot of surfaces and just performance that were good enough for me moment to moment that it still felt like I was looking at like a really beautiful reflection a lot of the time. So that's what I opted for. But I love that we have the options for the other two as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, dude, amazing arsenal of weapons, both a hilarious story. There's a lot of heartfelt and even surprisingly dramatic moments throughout as well. Awesome new characters. I think Rivet and Kit both are just freaking adorable. Love their personalities, love their backstories, love their animations and everything, their look. I think it's just adorable. I wouldn't be surprised if we just got like a Rivet and Kid game in the future. That might be blasphemous to some longtime fans, but I wouldn't be opposed to that.
She's that good.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of most surprised with is you spend I kind of felt like I played more Rivet than Ratchet in the game.
It kind of felt like 65% Rivet, the rest Ratchet.
And like I didn't mind at all. I think, I haven't even beaten the game yet, but I really, really enjoy, Rivet and Kit a lot.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Same.
I did skip all the puzzles. I skipped those.
You can skip them?
Yeah.
Oh, the little spider bot?
No, not glitch puzzles. The puzzles where you play as a Ratchet.
Ratchet? You can skip those?
Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea, dude, because I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah, halfway through my second one, I paused the game and it said skip puzzle, and I was like, yep, thank you.
Oh, you mean the ones with Clank and the
Clank
puzzles.
and Greg.
It's kind of like the
dimensional
Spider-Man
puzzles. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Dude.
said Ratchet, so
That's the thing.
Clank, my
I had
bad.
no idea you could skip them because I
Yeah.
will say this: they're well developed, and I was never challenged by them. I was just bored.
Yeah,
Yeah, they weren't that exciting.
Yeah, it's
But-
kind of the same thing with Spider-Man. Like when I figured out you could skip those puzzles, I mean, I want to kind of the same thing with this game. Like I want to swing around as Spider-Man. I don't want to be like some fake chemist. I want to run around and shoot stuff and platform. I don't want to run around as Clank,
That's
like
why
throwing
I keep questioning
balls
why they
everywhere.
put that. Don't get me wrong. Like on one hand, I appreciate that it's something different that breaks up like the normal flow of the gameplay, but ultimately, I'm like, why even put this in the game? Because I really, I mean, maybe some people like it. I don't know, but I was bored playing those.
I did not
I did-
mind the glitch ones. I thought those were like
Yeah, those
short
were fine.
enough. Those were fun.
See, I didn't like those at all. I
Yeah.
did not like glitch.
If they were any long, the only thing that kept me going is that they were short enough and that the DualSense features were pretty awesome
Yeah.
with her.
And I thought glitch was funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Yeah.
how unsure of herself she was the whole time.
I thought her as a character was nice, but
Yeah.
in terms of just like what you were doing,
Right.
I didn't enjoy it that
I
much.
completely
I enjoyed.
agree with what Garrett said. Like they were the perfect length. If they went on like a couple of minutes longer, I would have been done.
Yeah, I would have hated them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something we haven't really talked about is the controller itself with this game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what you guys thought of the DualSense features in this game.
No game takes better advantage of the controller than this game. Like every footstep you feel in the
I wanted to
controller.
actually talk about the footsteps specifically because I think the footsteps are not as strong as they could be.
Well,
I think
feel like they are in
everything
some
else
points.
is. But what bothers me about them is that when you're walking, the footsteps are properly in sync with the vibrations. But as soon as you start jogging or sprinting, maybe it's just my controller. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but they're not in sync with his footsteps.
I don't
Like
even.
for example, he'll be running quickly, and I'll just have like a boop 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 in my controller while I'm sprinting. But when I'm walking, it feels like I'm like boop 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 vibrating. But as soon as I
Well,
sprint, it doesn't keep up with his footsteps.
I don't even remember that happening at all. I didn't even know it vibrated when you walked.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like I mean, I didn't sprint for most of the game, so I don't even remember what sprinting sounds and feels like. Just because you get the boots, so you're flying around.
Yeah. I think the only reason I'm like hyper sensitive to that is because after Astro's Playroom, where it is flawless with the footsteps, that's what threw me. And even Returnal is pretty strong, but especially Astro's
It's-
Playroom.
It does not do it in Returnal. I don't think so.
And some materials it does, just not all the time.
Yeah.
It depends on
And
what
now-
you're standing on.
I think Control does an excellent job as well, because you're constantly running around in high heels on those like
Oh, really?
solid floors. Yeah, and I think it has
Mhm.
like a really like heavy, like chunky vibration that totally fits, what she's wearing in that game.
That's cool.
But yeah, in terms of like just the adaptive triggers and stuff, I think it's on par with Returnal. I really love the getting the hover boot started, how it kind of feels like you're like cranking a lawnmower with the left
Mhm.
trigger. I really like that.
Aside from like footsteps, though, each weapon feels like uniquely different when you're shooting it
Yeah,
on
I
the
love
controller,
that.
and I think that's incredible. It
I
made-
really
he ma-
love the burst pistol or blast pistol when the longer you hold the trigger, the more the vibration like slows down. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the trigger specifically.
Mm.
Yeah. Initially, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it on because some of the triggers felt kind of strenuous after a while. So I kept switching between experiential and functional are the two options for adaptive triggers. And functional felt pretty good too. It was just far more simplified, but I ended up sticking with the default experiential because I love just the difference in all the trigger pulls.
I don't know about y'all, but I never even used the left trigger. I was constantly doing the half pull on the right
Same.
trigger to
Yeah,
do
I rarely
everything.
use left trigger.
Well, I did with the headhunter,
Yeah, that was
Oh,
about
well,
it.
yeah.
With the sniper.
In terms
which
of
I
like
love
the,
using, by the way.
the arcs for the grenades or stuff like that, I was just half pulling right
Mhm.
trigger.
Yeah, that like purple bomb glove, like that was the first thing that I got max. So I love using that.
Yeah, that thing's pretty deadly, maxed out.
Speaking of like triggers, though, I felt like it was a lot more. I don't want to say annoying because I eventually came to fall in love with it, but the feedback on the left trigger when you would aim down sights in Resident Evil 8, I felt like it was a little more noticeable or like at first I thought it was annoying. Like if you use the shotgun or the sniper, there was a lot of feedback in terms of like aiming down sights. Like it was hard to do. But I eventually just fell in love with it, and I felt it was a lot more apparent there in terms of how it felt in this game. Not that it wasn't good in this game.
I don't even
If that makes sense.
remember there being any like pushback aiming down the sights in this game.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Mm-mm.
It kind of feels like how there's like a little bit on it. It kind of feels like it felt in a Spider-Man where there's just like a little bit of tug, especially at the end. Yeah.
Oh, and I love like some of the weapons, like you pull the trigger down halfway and it does something, and then if you pull it down all the way, it'll fully release. Like what does that? The shield gun does that.
The ion cannon thing does it. It charges up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. The machine gun, like if you hold it down, it'll start spinning before it starts shooting.
Yeah, the only one that I just don't think worked or didn't make any sense was the shotgun, because it's apparently shoots like once or something, but if you just pull the trigger, it only shoots once too. So that I didn't really see a point in pulling it halfway. It does. I don't know if
you have it upgraded all the way. Then,
yeah, I think initially it's a double barrel, so it shoots one shell, but if you hold it down all the way, it shoots both, like back to back.
Oh, if you hold it down all the way, it shoots like 5 or 6.
No, I have that.
Bursts.
I have that gun fully upgraded. I haven't used it in forever. I know when I first got it though, without it being upgraded at all, it said like pull halfway to only shoot one of the barrels, but it would do the exact same thing if you just pulled the whole trigger down and then let go. If you held it down, it would shoot both of them. But it's not a
Yeah, I think I did what you did. I would just shoot them both.
Yeah,
you guys encounter any glitches?
I did not. I actually have seen a few people like falling through the map and stuff, but I didn't encounter any glitches.
I had one glitch on the destroyed planet, Bison, I keep calling it. I was on that literally like portion where you walk with your gravity boots, and I went backward towards a portion of the earlier part of the map, and the crystal was just gone, and I couldn't change the map back to the other version, so I'd had to like kill myself, but it was fixed after that. That was the only anything like that I ever encountered.
Yeah, I only had 2 that were pretty minor. I may have had a couple more that were also minor, but I had 2 boss glitches where at the very beginning of the game, unfortunately, in Megalopolis, when you're fighting Dr. Nefarious right at the beginning in his big egg ship or whatever, when you're on that balcony, there's a part where he'll like pull back and like open some portals and like some sand sharks will pour through. Well, I got to a point where I killed all the sand sharks and he just stayed back there and never came back. So I just kept shooting at him, but no damage was happening. And I spent like 10 minutes seeing if it was a glitch or if it was part of the game, and it turned out to be a glitch. So I had to reload. And I had that happen with one other boss where there's like a sequence where they like leave and come back and they never came back. So I had that happen on 2 different parts of the game. But aside from that, it was really smooth.
Yeah.
So yeah, polished pretty pristinely for the most part.
Do you guys think this game is a system seller?
That's got to be like up to the individual, I guess. But because I know we all like action platformers. I know we grew up with them as well. But if someone hasn't grown up with like platforming games or even like action games like that, I wouldn't say that. Maybe it won't appeal to them. But when I look at Ratchet and Clank, if I try to remove my bias and nostalgia, I look at it as just a very gorgeously animated and graphically impressive showcase for the PS5. Also technical showcase for the loading times and the SSD, showcase for the DualSense controller. And on top of that, you just get great writing and characters. And I mean, that's really honestly all I could ask for in a game. That's kind of what I talk about in my videos. That granted, a lot of it has to do with nostalgia. A lot of it has to do with my history of those types of games. But it really is the total package for me overall. I mean, aside from my gripes with some of the puzzles and some of the glitches I encountered, it for the most part was like everything I could have asked for. Mm-hmm. So I was not bored for other than the puzzles. I was not bored for a single second the entire time I played the game. So could be a system seller. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's just like you said, an insanely gorgeous, extremely solid game. That I don't think it's like breaking any ground necessarily in terms of like gameplay wise or like narrative wise or whatever. It definitely like, technically it's incredible. I think it's a game that if you have a PS5, you 100% should own. But if you don't have a PS5, I would, not be, dying if I didn't have one just to play this game. It's just definitely one of the few games you should probably buy if you got one.
That and Demon Souls.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I need to play that.
I love
I don't
that
know why
game.
I don't finish it.
I got to finish Sekiro still. Ever since Mass Effect came out in Ratchet and Clank, I've just been sitting on the final boss. I just got to beat him and I'm good.
Good luck.
I got to beat him before Elden Ring comes out. So I have to now until January to beat him.
It's crazy that we finally have Elden Ring stuff.
I guess we should talk about that.
We should.
So it looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks very
looks
familiar
cool
in a lot of ways too, but it also just looks really cool in many other ways that we haven't seen From Software do.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I love the idea of getting on a mountain, having a whole, vast land to sort of explore in a Dark Souls-esque universe. Because the whole every Souls-born hero game is they're all very much the same in terms of how the worlds are laid out and where you can sort of go in terms of exploring. And it's very, I wouldn't say it's linear. I mean, it is, but doesn't have very much side paths, I guess.
Yeah, there's certainly secrets that can be uncovered. I'd say more so in like more recent games like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro. There's like beaten paths or paths that have not been explored as much. You can go off and find some cool secrets and like side bosses. But
sure.
I found in Demon Souls there wasn't as much of that. But I'm assuming just based on this trailer alone, it was a lot of what people assumed. It's a much bigger world. You have a mount. I'm assuming that there's going to be more depth to this game than any Souls game that's come before. And I'm hoping that's more than just, the world to explore. I hope there's far more weapons and play styles and armor sets and kind of bring back those elements that really diversify the gameplay. As much as I love Sekiro, I still think Sekiro is the best game they've made so far. But I think Preston and I very briefly talked about this over text. It'd be beautiful they could blend what works really well about Sekiro's combat and blend what works really well with the Souls series with the diversity of gameplay. If they can mesh those two, I'm just thinking gameplay wise, not even like narratively. I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah. I agree.
I think even the default, unless you look the same the whole game, if that's how you look, cool. But like the default looking character from the trailer looks pretty sick. Mm-hmm. Really like the design.
Yeah. I know there is character customization and different armor types and stuff. So yeah, I'm sure there will be quite a few, especially with it being open world. I mean, there's already like a decent amount of armor sets and stuff in the Dark Souls game. So I'm sure that'll be greatly amplified in this game.
Yeah. As always, I love just the insanity of the enemy designs too in the game. It's like you can't even wrap your mind around half of them. It's awesome.
Before we get too much deeper in this E3 talk, we do have a couple questions that I'd like to read. To sort of like direct our conversation, if you will allow me to read them. One is from Liam, and it's short and sweet. Standout reveals from E3, my dudes.
Oof.
And before we answer that, let's do the other one. This one's from Bojangles, and he asks, "What's up, boys? Gonna keep it super simple. Who won E3? I'm probably sitting with Xbox at the moment because they had a super strong showing, with Nintendo right behind them. Also, who just absolutely shit the bed for you guys? Square was pretty good at defecting for us live. All in all, it was a pretty weak year. You guys think that coincidentally or due to the fact that a lot of companies are just doing their own thing outside of the standard E3 timing? Which do you prefer? Big couple days of the year of announcements big couple days of the year or announcements throughout. Finally, have you guys seen Chaos? I need to find Chaos. Where is Chaos? Have you seen Chaos? I have to kill Chaos." Yeah, that Square press conference was, I mean, even worse was Ubisoft, I think.
Ubisoft does a video this year because I didn't watch any of E3 except for Xbox Bethesda.
Those were not even close to as bad as Capcom, dude. Capcom's was
I didn't watch Capcom.
atrocious.
I heard Gearbox was really bad too and pretty cringy.
Theirs was really bad too, but I think Capcom was worse for me because I actually had hope for Capcom. They literally came out and said DLC's coming for Resident Evil 8. That's it. That's all they said. Then they showed some Monster Hunter Stories stuff, and then they showed then they showed like, I swear, an hour of like Ace Attorney gameplay on the Switch. And then they talked about competitive games, and they're like, all right, see you later.
Nice.
So, yeah, that really sucks. Square Enix was.
So this is why we don't need E3.
I mean, I definitely think the COVID stuff definitely probably had to take its toll on just like either delays or stuff like that. I don't know. It kind of, I heard a few theories going out there that E3, the ESA, was just like begging people to come, so Capcom just like kind of threw something together and went, because there was no need for them to post an event. That was like at best like a tweet they could have put out like, DLC's coming, make sure you pre-order Monster Hunter Stories, and check out this cool fighting game tournament. Like, it's like 4 or 5 tweets right there. You're good to go. So
I mean,
there's definitely was the worst.
I thought Ubisoft was so bad. Like, there was not a single thing that I thought was interesting. Like, I know some people are really into like Far Cry. Is it 6 now?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think Far Cry 6 looks cool. I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna play it, but like that's
Isn't
the
that
only
October?
thing. I think
October,
so.
yep.
This
Okay.
fall. But that was the only thing that was
That and
even
Battlefield.
relatively interesting to me. I mean, I'm really excited for Battlefield.
Battlefield looks pretty sick.
Battlefield looks dope.
Yes, like it's, I can't wait. I've never been this excited for a Battlefield. I'll say that.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody out beside, I mean, Square Enix had some interesting announcements. Like, I actually think the Guardians of the Galaxy game looks pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people are crapping on it, but
I think it looks
cool.
so mediocre. I got to be honest.
I think-
I thought it looked bad.
No, I think the gameplay looks pretty mediocre, but I am interested in how far the whole decisions and stuff,
Exactly.
because that studio has the ability to do that. Like, those were the guys that did the Deus Ex games, which
It's a very good point.
Choices and stuff actually did affect those games. So this is a studio that has already shown that they are capable of having consequential like choices and stuff. So I'm interested in that. And it kind of, I definitely think the combat will probably be funner to kind of like get your hands on, and it definitely didn't help that they showed it off on like the most generic enemy of all time, literally a cube, like a jello cube.
What was that?
I don't know, but I think it'll be pretty good. And I thought
hope it's fun.
the writing was done extremely well. I don't think it was like super cringy like it very well could have been, in my opinion. So that kind of surprised me as well. So I'm
Optimistic?
I'm optimistic for sure.
More so than Avengers, that's for sure.
So yeah, definitely. But
Even though they're two drastically different styles of gameplay.
yeah, but yeah, that kind of took me by surprise. So I'll definitely back that up. Gotta support Eidos Montreal as well. Those are my boys. Hopefully this game is so successful that they will not be asked to do another one, and they'll go right back to Deus Ex.
That's the challenge. It's like maybe they'll make it just bad enough to where they can keep their jobs but not make another one.
I actually got Human Revolution for the PS3 to
Nice.
play through that again. I'm dying for some more Deus Ex. But anyways, they had that. Babylon's Fall did not look good to me. I know that I'm not like very sort I'm looking for. I'm definitely not. That's not a hot take from me. I think that's kind of been like the general consensus with everybody on the internet, that it just is not looking too hot. So that was kind of a bummer. The Final Fantasy 1 through 6 stuff only coming to Steam and iOS is
that was odd.
dumb. So dumb. Why is that not on Switch or PlayStation? Like, not that I would necessarily play them, but that just seems extremely dumb to not do.
Yeah. That seems like the perfect place for a Switch game, or like that would be perfect on Switch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Makes no sense to me.
Then there was Life is Strange. This is all off the top of my head, just stuff that's sticking out. And then there's Strangers from Paradise, which we've already kind of talked about. That trailer was
It's just the
hilarious.
joke of E3.
Yeah, trailer's hilarious, but
I don't even know if I've seen that trailer.
yeah,
you haven't
it's
seen it.
you need to
No,
check
I didn't
it out.
watch
It's-
anything but the Xbox conference.
It's pretty
Dude.
hilarious. They should have, the guy that cut that trailer or whoever thought that was a good idea for that to be their first impression needs to be fired immediately, because upon playing the game was way cooler than watching that trailer. 100%.
Oh, you're talking about the Final Fantasy Dark Souls thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Trailer for
Chaos
that
thing.
is hilarious.
Maybe it was just a meme to him. He thought it was funny to cut it that way.
He accomplished his goal.
no one noticed.
Mission accomplished. But definitely Microsoft and Nintendo had the two best conferences. Personally, I liked Nintendo's better because those games are just Breath of the Wild 2 is definitely my most hyped game.
That was my favorite
100%.
announcement.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish we had a little bit more, but
that and
enjoyed what we got.
Metroid Dread or Metroid Dread looks
Dude,
amazing.
Samus looks so sick.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
armor.
And I
It's a cool
love
design.
that like hide and seek mechanic with those robots. I think that looks so cool.
Yeah.
So very excited for those two games.
I
And
guess you only hope you're going to play it on a Switch Pro, right?
yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. Like that's obviously coming. Like everybody in the Brother has leaked that it's actually a thing. Like credible. Like Bloomberg reported
It's just
it.
kind
Like
of a bummer
it's,
to me is because I know Metroid Dread's a like side scroller for the most part, but it could look gorgeous on modern technology, but it just looks like an old game. I know gameplay wise, like mechanically, it'll be probably phenomenal, but just visually, it just looks old.
I mean, it looks. People were saying it looks like a DS game, and some tweet went viral actually posting a DS Metroid game, and it looks like something on PS5 compared to PS1. Like
Yeah.
it definitely looks better than the older ones, 100%. So,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe hopefully the Pro will be out by the time Metroid Prime 4 comes out. So, but that was good to hear them actually say that game's name, just to know that they haven't, stopped developing it. Developing.
Where's Bayonetta? I don't know.
They commented on that later. They I forget who it was, but that game is still going, still in production. So
Man, how about that Mario Golf Super Rush?
looks cool.
You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about? I'm stoked for that.
Yeah.
You seem excited for
I don't
it.
know what it is about me and Mario anything. I'm like so in for it every time.
Doesn't that come out this Friday or
June 25th.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
soon.
something? This Friday.
I'll pick it up, Garrett,
Sweet.
Should,
Yeah, three of us need to play
play
some
some.
golf, boys.
for sure.
I might.
That is
I'll watch a
I
trailer.
really want
That-
to pick up tennis again. I loved tennis.
that speed golf game mode just looks so fun.
It looks hilarious, like running after your golf ball.
Yeah. Also looks like infuriating, just like throwing
Yeah.
your Switch across the room because
Mhm.
Bowser comes up, shoves a golf club up your butt, throws you off to the side.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
But
For me personally, I enjoyed Xbox a little more. What was that one game? Eludian Chronicle Rising. That game,
Yeah.
like obviously, it looks a lot like Octopath Traveler, which that was a game that I fell in love with, and I talked about several times here on the podcast when I was playing it. But that looks like a Octopath Traveler, but even better. Like,
dude, do you even know what that game is?
no, not really,
It's
but it
the
looks
s-
awesome.
It's the spiritual successor to Suikoden, bro.
I don't even know what that means. It's just gibberish to me.
Suikoden is a like very critically acclaimed PS1 RPG that I believe there was
Even better.
1 and 2, and the director, like designer of that game, started a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor that just like, I think it like broke records or whatever. Then I think Microsoft came in and kind of scooped them up, and that's what that game is.
Cool.
So, but yes, people are very excited for that game.
Yeah, that just the animation, and it's sort of like how it would change its perspective when you were in combat. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, like I said, it reminded me a lot of Octopath. And then we got finally got a trailer for Starfield.
Garrett, what are your hype levels for Starfield?
Dude, I'm like at -5 right now, dude.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pumped.
Dude,
Did you
dude,
hear
I am-
Did you hear him talk about it after?
All I heard was that it's Skyrim in space. That's the only headline I saw.
That first of all, that's all I needed to hear.
I mean,
second of all,
that's the thing. Is like, that's what I expected. I think that's why I was underwhelmed. I'm like, well, obviously that's what it is.
well, the thing that got me is he says that they are very much going back to like the RPG roots. That it's going to be very much like a hardcore RPG.
Okay, rock on.
So,
I like that.
super
I think the only thing
excited
that
about
bothered me,
that.
I know it's an in-engine cinematic trailer, but I hate those so much, dude. Like I would be fine if for the rest of my life I never saw a CG trailer to announce or reveal any
It's
part
not a
of the
CG
game.
trailer though. They
I
specifically
know, but it
said that
looks
wasn't
like
CG.
one. Is my problem.
Well,
It's shot like
they
one and edited
specifically
like
said
one.
that was made in game. That's what the game looks like.
Yeah, that's great. I don't care if it looked like Play-Doh. I just want to see it in action. That's why
Well,
it's like I've
it's-
always hated CG trailers.
It's fine.
Excuse me, I'll remove the CG part, but like anything that's cut to look like a cinematic trailer, even if it's
Yeah.
in engine, bothers me.
Well, at least next E3 is probably when we'll see the gameplay.
But I'll give you this. It does look great. It looks
Yeah,
great.
Especially since that's all they showed of it. Too.
yeah, the concept art got me excited. There was some just like insane looking cities and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's very, I love like the NASA punk of it is what he calls it. It's very like grounded in realism. It's not like Mass Effect-y, which I
Yeah.
think is really cool as well. But just the exciting part of it is knowing that I don't know, just the premise of getting a Bethesda open world RPG. It's just been such a long time since we've had one of those. Especially
it's a
since
marine setting.
Take back what I said. I'm not actually at a -5. I'm more realistic. Out of a 10, I'm like at a 5 right now. And I know it's going to probably be awesome, but
this
I just gotta see
Bethesda, there's blood in the water. CD Projekt Red is bleeding.
That's
Bethesda needs to take advantage
to
of
rise
this
again. It's
to
time to rise again.
again.
Bethesda.
Just assert their dominance. Like we let our guard down with Fallout 4 when Witcher 3 came out, but CD Projekt Red tried to one up them with this first person RPG and failed.
That's what's kind of funny is that everyone was already saying that. I know, granted, Witcher 3 is a phenomenal game still, but people were saying like, oh, well, Cyberpunk's, like before it even came out, you're like, oh, Bethesda's done. Like they're the new RPG kings, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they're in a prime position to not just meet expectations, but far exceed them.
Yeah.
So
Bethesda has the opportunity to really, they're saying the right things. It looks good. I know it's just a trailer, but it looks really cool. All the concept art they released looks really cool. Everything Todd is saying is exactly what I want to say. And of course, the game is more than a year out, so it is what it is. But I still have faith in Bethesda. I really enjoy Fallout 4. I really enjoy Skyrim. I love Fallout 3. Like, I still very much love Bethesda games. 76 is
same.
complete,
My love for them has been unchanged.
yeah.
Even
76 is a
with everything.
complete outlier. That was a Bethesda Austin type of thing. Not to say that like Todd Howard didn't help with that and stuff, but that wasn't like a classic like Bethesda RPG. So I'm not counting that. But I still love those games, and I'm still
As do I.
yeah. Once especially once next E3, once we probably start seeing gameplay and stuff, that's when probably my hype's gonna
They
take
said
off.
holiday 2022, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe it's
And they'll stick to that.
11.
They'll totally stick to that.
11/11/22. 22,
that's
which
awesome.
is
Same
exactly
Skyrim
what
date.
Skyrim was. Yeah, 11
Yeah.
years after Skyrim.
Love it.
So
That's cool.
yeah,
I think I might actually try Sea of Thieves. What'd you guys think about the Pirates of the Caribbean update?
looked cool. I will say that.
Isn't it? I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Good for them, man. Because that game was just so. I mean, granted, I had a lot of fun with it. Like,
Yeah, we did.
We laughed our butts off.
I think
playing
one of
that
our
game,
community
dude.
questions about like how the hardest we've laughed playing a game. Like Preston and I laughed hysterically playing Sea of Thieves.
Dude, playing that at like 3 a.m. when we're like kind of out of our mind was just great. But yeah, it's really cool to see how that game has found a really like niche community, I guess, that is just stuck with it and has made it really successful. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and
Partnering with
play it,
Disney.
but all the updates look awesome, including this one.
Also, one more game I wanted to mention was actually two more, but Somerville. I heard that the makers of Inside, the two like studio heads split or something like that. And one of them went off, not the one that is still working at the Inside studio, but the other guy is making this game, Somerville. And it's very reminiscent of Inside. And
yes.
I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. That was one of the trailers. I was going to say, interestingly, like more indies, and I've never been one to say this, but like more indie, whether they're like AAA games that look like indie games, I don't know, but the smaller games like that like really blew my mind. A lot of the, like that and Replaced specifically really impressed me with their trailers.
Oh, dude, Replaced looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks that art style is wild.
Yes, looks
those two trailers in particular really stood out to me from Microsoft. What else?
Now that we're talking about it, I think Microsoft wins. I keep forgetting about all these little cool games.
Yeah,
dude, Stalker 2.
Yeah, Stalker
what
2
about
looks very
Stalker
impressive.
2?
I've never even played Stalker
awesome.
1, but Stalker 2 looks really impressive.
I've played Stalker 1, and it's really old, but I respect it. But yeah, this one looks nuts. So Atomic Heart, I've been following that game for the longest time. That every
it
time
looks like
I
it's
see
come
it,
a really long way since the initial reveal.
yeah, that game has been in development from Mundfish is the developer, I believe, for a very long time. And I still don't, there's no release date still, but looks like Soviet Russian BioShock.
Yeah.
So looks super cool. Then Battlefield was there. Just like we said, looks awesome. Very stoked for that.
Guys, what do you think about the second showing of Halo?
So that was a separate
was,
thing, right? The actual multiplayer breakdown was separate.
Yeah, that was the next day. But
Yeah.
what did they show on E3? I don't remember.
It was like a multiplayer like action trailer, and then there's a little more gameplay in like the Vidoc they did the next day.
Game looks a lot better.
Yeah, it looks. I've analyzed it myself extensively, and I've watched every major Halo YouTuber talk about this to death.
Really, you? I wouldn't have guessed.
And I'm not going to ramble on about it, but I think for the most part it looks really fun. But everything they talked about was so broad, and I think intentionally broad. They're supposedly going to be a little more in depth over the coming months with like flights and stuff leading up to launch. But it was so broad that it like really didn't do anything for me other than just like analyzing the visual aspect of it and kind of like breaking down weapons and maps and armors and equipment, and like it sounds like they're doing all the right things, which is really exciting. But there's still an aspect of it that has that 343 taste to it that just still doesn't feel entirely Halo. I haven't put my hands on the game. I haven't even heard the game, but I've seen bits and pieces, and like some of the animations and like the way some of it just appears just feels still so 343. Granted, in their defense, it's their game. It's not a Bungie game. But as a longtime Halo fan, including a lot of other Halo fans, there's always just been that aspect of 343 that just hasn't entirely. I mean, they still haven't nailed it, the total package of a Halo game. Like Halo 4 had pretty good story, everything else was not great. Halo 5 had pretty decent multiplayer, but everything else kind of sucked. And so this is like their final shot at like doing the total package correctly.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited for it. They're doing a lot of cool things that I think are good choices, and
the multiplayer trailer stuff got me excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks super fun. Like I love the return of equipment over armor abilities. I think it's brilliant.
There's going to be crossplay.
Yeah, crossplay is important.
So much customization.
And I like that the customization is more emphasized than ever, not only just in terms of how you can build your Spartan, but I like that your colors, for example, I've always thought this in previous Halo games, when you customize your Spartan's colors, you only ever get to show them off if you're playing Lone Wolves, which is like the solo mode, or custom games, which is fine, but it's always traditionally been red versus blue. But now, supposedly, it's you're always your custom Spartan, even your colors, but you're on your respective teams, and there's like a slight outline of color on your enemies versus your teammates.
I like that.
Which I thought about was a good point too, of like, well, think about how long we've been playing Call of Duty and we never have a problem determining our enemy players. They have like an icon above their head. I don't know if they're going that far in Halo, but there's going to be some sort of shade over your enemies that kind of differentiates the two. I mean, there's a lot of like technical stuff people have picked out of like every frame of the trailer that I'm not going to bore everyone with now, but they're doing a lot of interesting stuff that I think is going to be for its benefit. It'll inevitably probably undergo a lot of changes after launch and everything, but at this point, I'm just hoping that they stick to the date. Still not a locked-in date, just holiday 2021. That it just release it and let the community help them refine it. I just hope it doesn't need to be refined as much as Halo 5, because I think Halo 5 was refined for like 2 or 3 years after it launched.
By that point, it was dead.
Yeah, I mean, there's still like a core community that plays Halo 5, but nothing will ever compare to just the success and
Oh yeah. When I say dead,
original trilogy.
like if something's not dead, then it's
Like Overwatch, for example.
Well, Overwatch is dead. I would say.
I will say I think free to play is brilliant for them. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much every multiplayer game from here on out it goes free to play and just uses that model. It's not only just open the doors to everyone, but I think that alone is just going to help the game tremendously. Initially, it's just everyone has access to it.
Oh yeah.
So
I think that's the way to go for any multiplayer. It just makes so much sense. Like, I don't think Battlefield's doing it. I don't think Battlefield's multiplayer is free because it's only multiplayer. So
2042.
Yeah.
There's no campaign for this one. Was there a campaign for Battlefield 1?
Yes.
Or 5?
Yes.
There
Okay,
were
I have no memory of
missions.
this. I haven't played a Battlefield campaign since Bad Company.
I thought you played through
Battlefield 1's.
You played
was
through
good.
1, I thought you did. The
I
war
did.
stories?
There's like those vignette stories you played.
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
I remember
that's what
that
it
now.
was. It wasn't like a traditional.
That's why I don't
campaign.
remember it. It just felt like multiplayer matches with NPCs.
I thought they were good. I mean, I don't remember
It's a
whole lot
beautiful
about them.
game, though. I remember that.
I remember each one was like specifically something different. Like there was a sniper one, there was like a tank one.
I'm assuming Battlefield is crossplay this time around because I know the previous ones are not.
I hope so.
If it isn't, that's going to be insane.
Be awesome if it is. So like we can play with all our friends.
I know. I'm dying to play with Zach and Andy because we've been playing so much Halo and it's been such a blast. I know it makes sense for Halo to be crossplay, but everything else, if they can do, I mean, we've done that with Modern Warfare. Apex does it now. So
Are you talking about Battlefield or Halo?
we've been doing Halo crossplay, but we've also done Modern Warfare crossplay and Apex. So why would Battlefield not opt into that? I think it'd be insane not to.
Yeah, because Halo is going to be crossplay. I don't know if Battlefield is. I want to say it is.
I hope so.
So
Yeah, Halo looks cool. I'm excited for it because I love Halo. So
I thought the Outer Worlds 2 trailer was hilarious.
Why
Did you
is
guys watch that one? So basically they were just making fun of like the process of making a trailer for a show like E3, and they were like breaking down like the moments in a trailer, and like they were saying specifically why they would do. If you haven't seen the trailer, you need to see it. But like they would like say, and this is the moment where there's a explosion in the background. And like it was a complete joke of a trailer, and they didn't show anything. It was just an announcement.
I didn't
that
even
there
notice
is a
that. I
game
must have like
coming.
just had it on in the background when it was playing.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it. It's funny.
So apparently DICE has no announcements yet about crossplay, and I think that might be due to the 2 different SKUs of the game, because there will be up to 128 players on PS5, Series S and X, and PC, and on PS4 and Xbox One it'll have up to 64 players only.
Okay, let them do their thing. The rest of us will party in crossplay.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're kind of trying to decide that, or maybe they can allow like PS5 or PC players to like opt down to the other versions and only play with like the 64 people. I don't know.
Dude,
I'm sure they're
dying to upgrade my GPU for Halo 2, but specifically 2042. I'm dying to upgrade. I may just bite the bullet and buy like a more expensive one that's available before then because I'm tired of waiting. My patience has run thin to the point where I'm willing to fork out like an extra $500 for a GPU.
There have been like 1,000 other GPUs that have come out since we've last talked.
And that's,
like,
that's what I'm annoyed about. I'm like
the
what do I even do at
3080.
this point?
I think the 3080 Ti just came out, which is
even the regular 3080 still unavailable?
yes.
Gosh, dude, what
it's
the heck?
the chip shortage, man. Everything is just.
Now, how are they making
can't buy
new ones then?
anything.
Is it just like a different chip?
It was because from what my understanding is, and I could be dead off, but I believe that these manufacturers thought that technology would kind of slow down in terms of sales once COVID started, so they didn't order as much production, and it's the exact opposite has happened. Everybody's dying to buy stuff, so they just don't have enough. So
that is awful.
At least that's what some guy I worked with in I had a engineer for some random display company come out and troubleshoot something I was working with a few weeks ago, and that's what he said. And I just kind of assumed he might know a little bit about what he's talking about. So
did you respond
wrong.
saying like, dude, do you even play video games?
Exactly.
Do you play anything but Madden?
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Hey, Preston plays Madden. Don't make fun of him.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't play Madden.
You did for a second.
I was.
Then you went to NCAA.
Yeah. No, I'll play this, dude. The second NCAA starts coming out again, I'm gonna be ordering like limited edition, like collector's crap for it. I don't care. I'll officially be one of those guys buying the sports games every year once they start that.
Nice. That's right. You play other stuff too. Call of Duty.
I don't know, man.
Madden. That's all I play. That and sometimes Forza.
Hey, Forza looks cool. The new one.
Yeah,
I don't really
Horizon
wanna talk
actually
about
looks
it,
really dope.
Yeah, all those games always look so cool, but as soon as I play them, I'm bored.
I'm so interested to see what Fable's gonna look like, because the graphics in those games are just like immaculate.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm wondering if they can blend, like, that's the thing, they excel at like photorealism, but can they implement the charm of traditional Fable art style with like the fidelity of their racing games? Would be interesting to see.
They need to go harvest Molyneux's brain and use it.
Yeah. Dude, it's like, I don't want to spoil it. There's a side mission in Mass Effect 2 that is so disturbing, I like couldn't even fathom it. And like, that's the thought I just had with Peter Molyneux. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know? I'm going to do my best not to spoil it. It's a mission where there's like a brother who's mentally handicapped, but they're using him to like research the enemies from the first game, the Geth.
Oh, is it the missions where you drive around in the vehicle?
I don't. Maybe I don't think. I don't remember
gosh,
driving.
spoilers.
No. It's not. Maybe it is. I think it is. By the way, that vehicle's pretty cool.
Oh, yes. I did play that on PC back when I was playing it. That's one of the DLC missions.
Yeah, dude,
yes,
that mission was wild. It's like, holy
I remember
crap.
there not being a ton of voice acting for some reason in it. Am I right?
There's a fair amount.
Okay. Maybe we were thinking about different things.
But dude, it was like disturbing. I was like, goodness gracious, this is like the darkest thing. I didn't even know there was stuff this dark in Mass Effect. But that's the thought I just had, you talking about Peter Molyneux. But seriously though, they need to. That's just saying they're probably like afraid to have him as like a consultant or like an advisor for their team, because he would just go on these tangents of like, imagine a world where he just starts talking about Milo or something. So.
They just like hire him on and they leave him alone for a week, and they come in and he has this like animatronic boy in there. They're like, "What, Peter? What are you doing?"
He has like one of the most incredible imaginations that was just never properly reined in when he was promoting his games. But that's got to be really challenging for them, dude, because Fable 1 and 2 are still excellent, and there are little bits and pieces of 3 that worked, but mostly it didn't work. So they got to have like a really strong director who like knows specifically what they want to see, but he knows what the audience wants to see to an extent, because you have to have like a strong foundation to go off of. You can't just aimlessly try to develop something because it's like an IP that Microsoft has that has a fan base. I'm trying to think of where that happened recently. Oh yeah, like Prince of Persia, for example. I think that remake is a tried and true testament to like just a team not having any idea what they should be doing with it. Like, of course they want it to look better. They want to modernize some of the mechanics, but outside of that, they're probably like, what exactly are we doing here?
I mean, I think a lot of that probably has to do to maybe giving it to an inexperienced-ish team and not funding it properly. I think that has to probably do more to it.
Yeah, I just hope whoever's directing this game at Playground like knows what they're doing, because I have high hopes for it.
Yeah, no, same here. There's a lot, and I hate to like come off as the Sony pony that I am, but Xbox has a lot of promising exclusives coming out, but they're not here yet. Is the thing. It's like we don't know what Fable looks like. We don't know what Perfect Dark looks like. We technically don't know.
Dude, where's Crackdown 4 is what I want to know.
Like we did see Redfall. What did you guys think about that? Arcane's next game.
I'm trying. Oh yeah, that's the trailer we saw at the end.
Yeah, the vampire game.
What do they describe it as? Like an open world co-op game or something?
I think so.
It looks very arcane.
I missed the description of it. I thought the trailer was entertaining, but
I thought it was fine.
I mean, I'm interested because it's Arcane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the idea of like vampires, I guess, and it looks fun. I need to see more though. I think.
I mean, I
don't really know
gameplay.
Dude, again, CG trailers, as cool as it may look, do nothing.
I do think it was funny that for the longest time, the copyright for Redfall, people were associating with the Elder Scrolls 6, thinking that had confirmed that. Forget. Is Redfall in Elder Scrolls? I know Hammerfell is.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
It's still up in the air of where we're going in the next Elder Scrolls.
I'm pretty sure it's Hammerfell, or I'm pretty sure it's Hammerfell. I don't know. It's been a while since I like knew anything about Elder Scrolls lore, places or whatever. I'm just excited for Skyrim 2, guys.
Where was Skyrim 2? Where is Sam Fisher?
But speaking of Arcane, apparently Deathloop is. I heard I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but they were saying that Deathloop might be a full-on PlayStation exclusive, like full-on, not even.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Not even temporary.
I thought they said that it was no. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. I could have said they said that it was no longer, or it definitely is coming to both Xbox and PlayStation. When you say that, do you mean like excluding PC as well? Because that'd be asinine.
No, I still think it's coming to PC, but like I just pulled up an article from 3 months ago. Bethesda has reiterated that Arcane's upcoming shooter Deathloop remains a PlayStation 5 console exclusive, despite Microsoft acquisition. That's wild that like Bethesda's like next game coming out in the next few months from like Arcane, a studio I believe that's kind of getting a lot more love recently. Like I've seen a lot more people talk about Prey and stuff, and you know people are pumped for Redfall now, but like their next game was just completely absent from Microsoft's showcase.
Yeah.
That's just wild.
Weird.
I think that game's going to be I don't know if it'll be like financially successful, like it'll blow up like a Call of Duty or anything, obviously, but I think it'll be like very highly criticized.
Yes, it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially after playing, like getting more accustomed to like Returnal and kind of doing that like process of doing things over and over again, I would love to see more like story-based take from Arcane. With kind of like, even though I know it's not like a roguelike, but it kind of has the similarities of it because you're redoing the same day, and the whole point of the game is to assassinate 8 people in the most efficient way possible in one day.
I cannot wait to see Stealth Gamer play this game, dude. Yeah. It is built for him. I swear it was built for him.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Very excited to see how people play it. What else are we missing from E3 that stood out to us? Do you buy into the theory I read today, actually, that you play as young Ganondorf in Breath of the Wild 2?
I have read that as well. I am not buying it. I'm not buying it. Because it just wouldn't make sense to me.
That's the hot new thing, dude, is to sympathize with old school villains.
I know, but I think that it is actually the original Link that is shown in the paintings, like the original hero, because he has the long flowing hair. I thought
Skyward Sword was original Link.
Technically, but in Breath of the Wild...
So even before him?
No, the original hero from the Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
You know those paintings that they show in
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild? The Link that is portrayed in those paintings has long hair.
Okay.
So I think that is who they're referring to.
Yeah, people are thinking it looks like there's time travel involved with this game.
Yes, because I mean, Skyward Sword would tie into that because that is the original timeline, and Skyloft is where I believe Hylia or Hylia, whatever her name is, she put all the people up there to get out to like be safe up in Skyloft.
What are we talking about?
Breath of the Wild too. Hey, I have to comment on this real quick. I was kind of, am I wrong to be annoyed that they wouldn't announce the title because they say, oh, it'll spoil the story. I'm like, well, what happens when you finally do reveal the title? Will it spoil it then versus spoiling it now? That's a poor excuse to me.
That's a little dumb. I mean, they're pretty known to do that. Like, I don't think we knew Breath of the Wild's title for a while. Like, I think we got the original trailer and stuff that was just Legend of Zelda. So this isn't the first time that they've kind of held off on it. But
just come up with a better excuse. Be like, we don't feel like telling you right now. I mean, it's a bad excuse to be like, we're not going to spoil it now. I'm
that
like,
kind
what,
of
are you
is
gonna spoil it in 6 months.
That is, maybe it's the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Ganon's Tale or something like that. One thing that is super nitpicky is his arm. I hope it doesn't bother me aesthetically. Like if I'm wearing all this cool armor and I have this green arm, it's kind of
like Rivet's arm. How are you? Our armor in Ratchet and Clank, but her metal arm is still.
That's fine.
Normal.
That's a part of her. That's fine. Link doesn't always have a green arm.
He does now.
I don't know. Maybe people are looking into this way too intensely. Maybe Link just took his ponytail out. That might be it. Because like it shows Link getting his arm taken over by the crap. What's it called? That goo stuff. The
corruption.
I'm really like blanking on my Zelda knowledge here. I gotta find that, but it shows him
chaos
getting it on his arm. So either they both have it, or like I said, he just let his hair down.
Mm.
You mean the piano music stuff?
What are you talking about?
Like anytime like Ganon's around, it's like that little piano music. It's like
it's called Malice. Malice is the red
that's a good name for it. It's pretty cool.
So Jay, I don't know what you're talking about, Jacob.
I don't either.
We're speculating if long-haired Link is actually Link or not.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. I think
it's a riveting conversation.
I think it's Link.
Why would it not be?
Because there's
a theory that it might be young Ganon you're playing as.
Yeah.
Do they look the same?
Maybe when
I guess maybe
Ganondorf was the original hero.
They never showed Link's face, which is leading to the speculation as well. Or whoever that was face when he was running around up top. I'm more interested.
To combine the theories, like the original hero was Ganondorf and he got corrupted.
That would make no sense. The original Ganon was
just stupid.
The original Ganon was the big barefoot guy from Skyward Sword. His name was starts with the D. Dude, I am blanking so hard on my.
We've been talking about a lot of games tonight.
Man, I gotta find that real quick. Skyward Sword villain, not Girahim. Demise is like the original Ganon, and they like that. Skyward Sword sets up the whole loop of the hero taking on one of Demise's like spawns, which is Ganon.
Okay.
And then it gets into the whole Ganon is the pig, and then Ganondorf was born into the Gerudo tribe, which only like one man is born every like thousands or something of years. So yeah, for me to be as big a fan of Zelda as I am, I need to read up on my Zelda lore.
I've been playing too much.
In my defense, the timeline makes no sense anyways, because I don't think they're really trying too hard to connect everything. So a lot of it's all over the place. And every single game
for a complete replay.
Every single game.
We're going back into shrines in this game that have like new time mechanics. That'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah. There definitely is time stuff, like the whole stasis thing he used on that ball, rewound time, and then it showed the water droplet go back up, and he shot into the air and went through something.
Dude, give me some Dagger of Time mechanics in Zelda. I'd be stoked about that.
Yeah. Time mechanics, like Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that and just like I'm thinking like Dagger of Time, like like real time kind of stuff versus like just going back and forth in time.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the Switch Pro is a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about
100% is the thing.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't see it.
I would.
They're gonna have their own Nintendo Direct after
large
like
sum of money. It's a thing.
After the chaos of E3 2021 dies down,
Dude,
that's when they'll do their big announcement.
I know this is a complete just.
I know what you're gonna
Dude,
say.
I don't blame Sony at all from keeping a distance from this crap. By the way, like I don't blame them at all after that.
This is a complete inside joke, but the first thing I thought of after I saw that trailer was Josh McCrunk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
chaos.
And no one listening to this podcast would understand that. Now that's fun.
He wrote that game. Yeah,
yeah, that has to be the most nobody. I can 100% guarantee you nobody listening to the podcast. Well, there's no way they would know. It's literally
unless he's listening.
It's literally a guy that went to your high school.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what's another game that we're forgetting about? There's got to be something we're forgetting.
I mean, there were other ones.
Anything? I mean, Elden Ring. We already talked about that. Anything else at Summer Game Fest? We haven't really talked about that too much.
I didn't watch Summer Games Fest. What did they show?
I mean, Elden Ring, obviously, which is big get.
That's the only one I remember seeing.
What else?
Was there something from PlayStation?
There was one other.
Oh yeah, the Death Stranding director's cut.
Yes, which had Metal Gear music in it, which is wild.
Yeah, how'd they pull that off?
That's what I'm saying. So I think something is fishy with that.
Something's happening.
Something might be. I mean, there's a lot of speculation that this means that maybe.
It turns out the Death Stranding's the real ending to Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain.
Or just that Kojima and Konami maybe through
made amends.
PlayStation kind of like squishing them together, and maybe they've mended their
wounds.
Their wounds, yeah.
PlayStation bought Konami.
Yeah, which I know. So Jacob, I don't know if you've seen any of this, but I've been seeing Garrett. I've been completely, at least for the first 2 days, obsessed in this whole Silent Hills Kojima conspiracy theory that this.
I've seen Jason tweeting about it.
Yeah, so I went down this rabbit hole and was just like infatuated with it, but I haven't really combed through everything. But today it was pretty much confirmed that that's not what's going on. This developer came out and like refuted everything, and the big announcement that Silent Hill was gonna make was for like these skateboards, like literally Silent Hill skateboards. So it was just a massive. The thing is though is that, and I don't want to get into it, and obviously like there's probably a lot of people listening to us right now that actually looked into this and know what I'm talking about. But there were so many insane coincidences between this small company and Silent Hill and Kojima that it's just I don't see how you couldn't believe that. A little bit of background. So before Metal Gear Solid 5 was released, Kojima invented this studio called Moby Dick Studios, and they teased this game called The Phantom Pain, and he like made up a character that was developing this game and stuff. And anyways, the big twist was like, oh, The Phantom Pain is actually Metal Gear Solid 5, and like Jeff Keighley was in on it as well. So people were thinking that he was doing this again through this studio called Blue Box Studios to reveal Silent Hill. And dude, there were all of these, like I said, insane coincidences. Like the main, like the front man for this studio's name when it was translated was into Hideo, and they came out and said that their next game was gonna start with an S and end with an L, and there's so many things I can't even remember them. Like it was mind blowing how many connections there were. But anyways, I think it was just this small studio that was kind of capitalizing on all the insane coverage they were getting. And they did say, like, granted, in their defense, like 5 days ago, that they have no relation to Silent Hill Zero or Konami. But like I said, there were so many ties that people were just like, oh, you're lying. Like you're totally in on this. But anyways, that is actually not a thing. But I do think there is something fishy going on with this Death Stranding director's cut, and Metal Gear, because like I said, he took the box off the shelf. Metal Gear sounds or music were playing. It was obviously a call, like a call to Metal Gear. So, I'm interested to see what this actually is.
We'll see what happens.
I think we'll see at the PlayStation event, whenever that is, because Jeff Keighley said in a few weeks, and EA's doing their thing in July. So
the end of July.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Sony does their thing in July or August. So
E3's not done yet.
It's done. I miss old E3. I know that I think this was a part of his question, but I just miss the 3 days where everybody got together and it was just a mass explosion of stuff, and we weren't like waiting a month and a half to see what EA has, which I'm very excited for. Especially,
no one cares what EA has.
Come on. Have you seen that Motive?
Something about like Dead Space.
Yeah,
right?
apparently Motive's working on Dead Space, which I'm super pumped for.
Nice.
So.
Can they do it as well as, was it Visceral? What are they called?
Visceral was working with Amy Hennig to do that Star Wars game and got canceled. But Motive's the team that just put out the Squadrons game. I believe they helped with Battlefront as well, I think.
And Dead Space has got to be like mega early days then, if that's the case.
They need to like remaster that or something.
I know. I'm amazed that hasn't been remastered in any way, shape, or form. That is like a modern classic.
Yeah,
Dead Space
I mean,
1.
there is an audience for like horror games. Look how successful Resident Evil is and stuff. Like, there's people are dying for, like, Silent Hill was like trending on Twitter the other night because people just want a new one, like an actual competent Silent Hill game. They want what PT was going to be so bad. So there is space for that. An actual scary game. And I love that quote from back when PT was still a thing. There was a interview with Kojima and it was either his translator or some other guy, but he was talking about how when you're developing a horror game, you have to hit this sweet spot where the game can't be too scary or else the players aren't going to continue. And he was just like, screw that. Like, I want you to shit your pants playing Silent Hill.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. So it's like, man, like I want that so bad. Like, I think people want that. So
I don't. Stop.
And he succeeded with PT. PT's the scariest thing I've ever played in my life. Like, that's scarier than any other game I've
couldn't
played.
even get through that game.
Yeah.
No way.
That game creeped me out so bad.
That's the thing with games like horror games and even games like, Splinter Cell, where I understand the argument of like developers reaching this new place in the modern gaming industry world we're in, where they want to monetize most games they put out to just be as lucrative as possible, especially because a lot of these games have massive budgets. But imagine a game like Dead Space and any general horror game doesn't need a huge AAA budget. I could be wrong about that. Again, I'm not a game developer. But I imagine the new Dead Space, for example, or a Silent Hills, or a new Splinter Cell don't need budgets as big as like Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff like that. You would hope there's like a team under a publisher that they allow to develop a game like those and satisfy that side of their fan bases or their audience, I guess.
Yeah, the big thing with Silent Hill and Splinter Cell is I'm shocked that there hasn't been like an indie developer or something that has just wanted one of those games so bad that he just makes his own spiritual successor to those. That's just surprised me. Maybe it has, but it just hasn't been good enough to really gain any attention yet. But, like you said, these don't have to be like GTA levels of, funds or production behind them. Like I said, it's people buy single player games. So
look at Ratchet and Clank. It is the most single player type of single player game you could possibly buy right now.
No microtransactions.
No,
just straight up single player. I mean,
I thought about it too. I was like, I almost felt bad as much as I enjoy that game. Is like I played all the way through it, beat it, 100%ed it. Other than just upgrading all the weapons to 100%, I technically did everything you could do in that game, and it took them however many years to develop it, and it is a masterpiece in a lot of ways. And I just blew through it in like 6 days.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, EA has experience. I mean, they just saw how well Fallen Order did. I think that's the third best-selling Star Wars game ever of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so.
And just in its own right, just it sold incredibly well, and it's going to have a sequel. Mm-hmm. So if you put out a good single-player game and no microtransactions, you show that this is just a pure single-player game, it's going to do well. And that's what I don't get about Dead Space. Dead Space 1 and 2, I don't know the sales, but they were critically acclaimed. And then for 3, they added in a co-op mode, microtransactions and stuff.
More
it's
of an
like
action game.
Yeah, it's like they killed it themselves. It's like what did you think was going to happen? So, I mean, at least in Resident Evil 6's defense, that was, I think, that might still be the best-selling Resident Evil game, and that completely went off the rails.
You don't think 2 sold more than that, the remaster?
No.
That's shocking to me.
Nope.
2 was so good.
Yeah, 2 is awesome, dude. That's my favorite Resident Evil game I've played, period.
I think about that game frequently. Like, especially when I was playing like right around the time when RE was like, in my mind. Like I constantly was thinking about it. Yeah, I never did play through the whoever the lady was, her portion of the game.
Oh, my bad. The best selling Resident Evil game of all time is 5. Number 2.
Wow, even more so than 4.
Number 2.
All of its iterations.
Number 2 is 6. Number 3 is 4. Number 4 is 7. Number 5 is 2 Remake.
Man, no wonder they're wanting to make Call of Duty and these Resident Evil games. They always try to sneak it in. Like, you know what meme I think of every time I play any Resident Evil game in recent years, specifically like the new ones like 7 and especially 8 and the one like 5 and 6. It's like, I think of that kid where he's like clenching his face and like his veins are popping out. I think they so badly want to make Call of Duty, but they can't. They do just enough to satisfy themselves. And I was thinking about that playing through Resident Evil 8. I think it's an awesome game. I loved it. But I'm like, these guys will just want to make Call of Duty so bad, but they can't.
Like I said, I didn't mind the crisp portions. I thought it was a nice kind of switch up just to kind of feel overpowered in that moment as a like actual military dude.
Yeah, I thought it fit narratively.
It fit fine, but I was thinking like gameplay wise, I'm like every other first person shooter I've ever played in my life is better than this. So like if I want to have a third person action experience or first person action experience, I'll just go play one of those. Like I come to Resident Evil for like a specific experience, and then it turned into like wannabe Call of Duty. I'm like, well, if I want to play Call of Duty, I'll just go play Call of Duty.
I don't know.
That's how I feel about it. Like it's almost like borderline arcade shooters. I felt like I was playing like Time Crisis at the end of Resident Evil 8 in comparison to what like Modern Warfare feels like. I'm exaggerating for the sake of being funny, but like you know what I mean. Like it isn't like it is fluid and is mechanically sound as like a Call of Duty. I'm not expecting it to be.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go to Resident Evil and be spooked and like have like tedious combat.
If that was like if that was like Ratchet and Clank, where like you were shifting back and forth between
dimensions.
Ethan I was trying to think of Ethan and Chris, then 100%, but it was like such a short section, and I thought it was like a nice kind of like breather just to kind of mow through some guys, and then you go right back to Ethan within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't too long.
Yeah. Hey, spoilers.
I definitely felt cool. I'll give it that. Yeah. Felt very cool.
So,
guys, we need to wrap up. I'm getting tired. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, we've gone into a new day.
Yeah, I don't think this episode was recorded on a Monday and Tuesday. I don't think we have any other E3 related things we're leaving out, are we?
No, I got them both. I'm pretty sure.
There's got to be a Crobat cut coming from E3 2021. I heard there was just a ton of cringe that I missed out on. So
I deleted the questions too that we answered.
I don't necessarily know there was. It was just more bad than cringe, honestly. Just. It was a lot. It was like recorded, so they could probably see if anything was cringy and fix it.
Yeah, and like edit. Yeah. That's what always shocks me when presentations that are presented digitally are bad and cringy, because I'm like, you had all this time to edit it. That's what I was thinking too. Like movies like Wonder Woman and all these movies that have been delayed over like well over a year. I'm like, you've had all this time to like really watch your movie and determine whether or not it's going to do well. Like they still come out in the state they're in is shocking to me. I will say I'm like far less interested in watching Black Widow. I'm going to watch it because it's Marvel and I like Scarlett Johansson, but I've seen that trailer and ads for it for so long that it's like maybe not want to watch it on principle.
I haven't seen any ads for it. I wonder why.
Yeah, I constantly see ads for it all over the place, just like before YouTube videos. And
do you constantly get like movie ads?
I do. I watch a lot of movie YouTubers too, so that's probably
why. Yeah. What kind of ads do I get all the time? I get a lot of fitness ads.
I get this. I do too. I get the Zoom Poo ad too many times.
Do you get the one with like, what is that machine called? It's like the one where the trainers take you on a journey and you're like on a machine and you're like running through Antarctica or some stupid crap,
yeah,
dude. It's like a treadmill.
I get the mirror. Do you know what I'm talking about? That big mirror that has the weighted like pull things.
No.
I get that. I get Zoom Poo, which is like some digestive thing, and he's like, "Did you know that you can hold up to 5 to 25 pounds
I get that
of
ad
poop?"
all the time.
I'm like, dude, nobody has 25 pounds of poop in their body.
Dude,
like,
I get
what
pissed
are you
off every time
about?
I see that guy, dude. Every time I see him, I'm just mad for some reason.
I get that, and then I get Steel pre-workout. I get that one all the time. It's just this giant roided out man. He's like, "Are you sick of drinking like pussy pre-workout?"
You know, another video I can't stand that also just enrages me the moment I see it. It's like such a 2021 like millennial or Gen X thing to say and do, of that ad of the guy that's like, you know, my friends used to ask me, "Hey man, what are you putting in your water?" And he's like, "It's mud."
Mud water.
Dude, F that guy, dude.
What's that?
It's horrible. It's an awful ad. Yeah. It's like,
I don't get these ads.
yeah, it's just like this dirt that he just throws in his water, and it's the most hipstery thing ever. So I'm
Dude,
drinking
I would
water.
look that man in the eyes and verbally express my disgust in him as a human being if I met him. And I'm usually not like that, but like it's just how stupid it is. It's like offensive to me.
Jacob, do you get V-Shred ads?
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate that guy so much. It's like he's going out of his way to say the stupidest stuff. He's like, "You probably think doing cardio helps you lose fat. False. Doing cardio actually makes you add 50 pounds." It's like,
no, it doesn't. What is he talking about?
It's like he is like pandering to lazy people so hardcore just to get them to buy his programs. This like the whole fitness community on YouTube. There's like so many videos just like completely dunking on that guy because of how stupid he is.
Well, it's like the same idea as like making thumbnails. Like you're trying to like grab someone's attention. Right?
Yeah,
it's not about like, you know.
Yeah,
facts.
He'll have one too. He'll have like a pizza and a salad, and he's like, "Which one do you think I'm eating tonight?" "I'm eating this giant pizza." It's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure you eat that.
Yeah, but
every
what else
night.
are you eating that day?
Yeah, exactly. Taking some Trin with that as well, some SARMs. What else, bro? Man. How do we?
It's ridiculous, man.
That's all the ads I get.
Yeah, I get.
Honestly, I was trying to think about like what other ads do I get, but I don't even remember because like I never pay attention to them anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's always. I get a lot of anime ads, so I watch a lot of anime.
Weeb.
I haven't watched Hunter in a while.
Dude, by the way, you guys have to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched like 12 episodes of it.
I've never even heard of
so good.
What's it called?
So Kyle's recommended it a couple times. It is so basically it's basically Dragon Ball Z, like in terms of its action. And like, you know, when people in Dragon Ball Z fight, like they like take a hit and they like go flying for miles and they'll like go through buildings and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's the combat's kind of like that, but there's no like Super Saiyan stuff. So there are these things called curses in the world, and they're like monsters, basically idealized, and only some people can see them. But basically, they're like they come around when there's like negative energy around people, and it's based in Tokyo, just like every other anime. And there's these people called jujutsu sorcerers, and basically they use jujutsu to fight off these curses. And
anime is the
stick
best,
with me. It is. Dude, but this show is awesome. You guys would love it. The characters are great. The story is awesome so far.
All right.
I can't recommend it.
I'll watch it
Please
once
watch
I'm watching Sword Art again, so I'll
Goodness gracious.
I'm watching the first season again, so I'll get to that.
Are you really?
No.
I did that not
I'm
too
just
long ago,
kidding.
so I'm not gonna knock
Just
you.
I've already done it like 4 times. I have to move on with my life.
It's good. It's good.
It is great. It is great.
Yeah, please watch that show. It's
Okay.
good.
I still got to finish Attack, and
Dude, what happened to Attack on Titan? Why has there not been a new episode in like 4 months?
Just a mid-season break?
they halved this final season.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I'm like, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Have you guys been watching My Hero, the new season?
That's out?
What?
I didn't know that.
I haven't even fit. I don't
Since
even know
when? How
where
many
I
episodes
am.
are out?
I think maybe 10 to 15.
Is
I'm
it
trying to
good?
remember how the last season ended. Oh, I remember now. It's insane how the last season ends.
Is it?
It hasn't been great. It's like one of those arcs right now where the school, like the different classes are fighting each other in like a school tournament or something. And it's like it's nothing like
classic
an
anime.
importance happening. Yeah. But some of the episodes are really good. Like the ones where like what's his name? Bakugo, like the guy who has like the explosions, the guy who hates Deku,
Yeah.
his friend, allegedly. And then like the ones where Deku's fighting is really cool. So there's some cool moments, but some of it's kind of boring. But
I just
I
remember
agree.
that last season. Was it season 3 or 4?
3, I
Was it?
believe.
Season 3 was awesome. I loved it.
yeah,
Dude,
but apparently it's gonna get good.
I think I haven't watched that much anime, but in terms of just epic moments, I mean, some of My Hero's moments easily rival some of DBZ's
Dude,
epic moments.
I was on a treadmill watching one episode of My Hero, and I thought I was going Super Saiyan at one
Yeah,
part.
I know, dude. It is.
It was
insane how epic
one of
it
the final, not spoiler at all, but one of the final. You know what I'm talking about? The attack from crap. What's his what's his
All
name?
Might?
Villains.
All Might. Yeah,
Yeah.
his like final attack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's like one of the most epic things ever.
It's all the moments too where Deku's the underdog trying to take on some guy that's like way stronger than he is,
Yeah.
and he just doesn't give up. I'm like, that is just so
He's
sick.
not an
I love
underdog
it.
anymore. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
Man, I'm he still sucks where I am, so I got to catch up.
You got a ways to go.
He's
Yeah.
very much an Anakin Skywalker. He's super powerful, but he's so whiny.
I have to
A lot of the
finish Invincible as well. I'm still at the same exact place.
Oh yeah, that's a
which
really good show.
I see so many Invincible memes, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
have no clue what this means. I have
I
to finish
know.
this.
They're all good too.
Yeah.
You guys should consider Dr. Stone too. I think you'd really like that one.
Did you start
like-
Invincible, Jacob?
Dude, I still have like 60 plus episodes of Hunter x Hunter left. I'm still in the tournament tower.
Watch it.
See, my
There's
problem
so
with
much
Hunter x
good
Hunter is
anime.
I really enjoyed is that, but I'll watch like 2 or 3 episodes, then I'll go like 6 weeks or more without watching
I have to
more.
watch it at night, dude. Every night I pull up my phone and I end up just scrolling through Twitter or looking at some stupid YouTube video of some like monkey falling off a chair.
Sometimes
And-
pressing some YouTube videos, I'm like, how did you find this?
That's what I go into the depths of YouTube like super late at night, just find the stupidest stuff that of course I'm like about to piss my bed. I'm laughing so hard because I'm so tired. Anything's funny. When I could just be watching a few episodes of a show and actually get somewhere. So
Mhm. Well, let me know if you guys watch any of these shows. But Jujutsu Kaisen, please watch it. Please.
I'll add it to my
Gosh, that's
very
good.
extensive list of anime.
Garrett, what's the last video I sent you? I don't even remember.
I'm trying to remember. I remember something recently made me laugh so hard. I just can't remember what it was. Dude, what got me today is the meme Big Colt posted of
Which one?
the girl named Lizard. For some reason, I thought that was like so hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's like, name your daughter Liz. And when people ask, oh, is that short for Elizabeth? Or name your daughter Lizard, but call her Liz. And it's like when people ask, is that short for Elizabeth? She'll say, no, my name is Lizard. For some reason, I thought that was hilarious.
I found it, Garrett, that video of that guy's impression of the Minecraft Let's Play.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That got me. It's like, that just came out of nowhere. I was laughing so hard at that. I just send that to Jacob.
When you were a grandma, but hoe is life. Depend G-string.
All right. Let's end it here, guys.
Guys, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're getting way off topic.
The late night's getting to us.
Garrett, can we move into our question section?
Yeah, let's do it. This is Ask IOG, the part of the show where we answer your questions submitted through any of our social media at ItsObviousGaming, our email at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com, or anywhere, or on our Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. I'm sorry, I really botched that. But if you want your question read live on the show, always include the hashtag AskIOG. First one's from Fribes. Y'all play Frostpunk? If not, play Frostpunk. I've seen Frostpunk in action.
I don't want to.
Isn't that like the like strategy game?
It is a strategy game.
know.
I would not. I'm too dumb to play that game. I respect it.
Yeah, I respect it too. The first time I saw it, interestingly, was at E3 actually. It was my buddy James was previewing Frostpunk while I previewed a different game. Right, we were right next to each other. And I remember thinking it looked really cool. This is back at E3 2017. It's the only time I've ever seen it. But I remember a lot of people talking about it after the fact.
That's neat.
I've never played too many strategy games. I have a reverence for them. There's a like 2% of me that thinks I'd like really enjoy them if I gave them the time of day, but I don't.
I played Fire Emblem. Is that a strategy game?
Yeah, it is.
Then I have.
Cool.
I was thinking about that game tonight. So I was really bored right before the podcast, and I went over to under my TV and I grabbed my Switch. And I was like, man, I haven't touched this thing in well over a year. I whipped it out. I turned it on, and I tried to move my controllers a little bit, and I think my joysticks are like broken now for whatever reason. I think they're just like drifty, and they weren't like this before. So I don't know what happened during this year, but every time I try to move anything, it just goes either all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. So my Joy-Cons don't work now. And I was trying to play like I was booting up Breath of the Wild, and I just couldn't do anything. So I just put it away. And I felt like it was important to let you guys know about that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Next question comes from Pimp Daddy.
Pimp Daddy.
Hey, fellers. I was wondering how y'all felt about GTA 5 and the recent rumors about GTA 6. Pimp Daddy, I don't know any rumors about GTA 6. And this is a very vague question. But in terms of how I feel about GTA 5, I think GTA 5 is great. I think it's still awesome. And I still frequently watch people RP stream on private servers for that game. And I think it's the most entertaining thing on Twitch right now.
I also enjoy GTA 5. I just Googled GTA 6 rumors, and the newest thing I saw was from Games Radar. And I'm just going to read the headline. Apparently, it's going to take place in Miami and launch October 2023, with the game being set in the 1970s with a chaptered story like Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I like that rumor. That sounds really cool.
That's I'm trying to think. I haven't given too much thought to what I'd like to see in GTA 6 because the 5 is so astronomically successful. You almost have to do something drastically different. Because I think GTA Online's always going to exist, and they'll just keep updating it.
For sure.
So the next mainline GTA game, I feel like it makes sense to be pretty drastically different from 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like modern, though.
I was thinking because modern is just so popular and just such a mass appeal to GTA's audience that I feel like it makes sense to keep it modern just because I think people would be happy if it was Miami modern day, just better graphics, new gameplay mechanics. Yeah. That's a really bold choice to go the 70s route.
I mean, I guess it'd just be like a modern take on Vice City, which I'm definitely not opposed to. I think I have enough faith in them that whatever they do, like I said, I have faith that it's going to be cool.
Yeah. 2023 sounds very realistic to me, though, as like a tentative possibility.
Yeah.
I don't know. Takes them a long time to make those games. I know 5 has been out forever.
I mean,
And who knows how long they've been working on it.
I mean, it's obvious how like you can see the amount of time they put into it, like just the amount of nut stuff that's in Red Dead 2.
Yeah, they spent 8 years on Red Dead 2, so
yeah, I'm fine. If every game is to that quality, like take your time. I'm fine.
They do make some of the best open worlds in terms of just the breadth of just what's in the world and like the things that happen around you. 100%.
I mean, I've said the story a million times. Red Dead 2 was so like immersive to me, just from how realistic it was. That is like the only game I feel like I've ever role played in, to where
same.
Me playing as Arthur, I would go get my hair cut. I would
have coffee every morning and talk to my can.
I had like a routine playing that game, and I played it like so seriously, and it's just because that world was so believable. So I would love to play a GTA game with like that level of like, or that amount of polish, on it or into it or whatever.
Also, the thing about GTA I love too is just the insanity that can ensue from the sandbox in that game. Is just like the physics and the vehicles and the NPCs. It's just insanity.
I think GTA 5 has some of the best like body physics in any game ever. Like just the way like if you fall in GTA, it is so funny to me. Like you just flop down and you just look ridiculous. It's always been hilarious.
Yeah, there's so many creative ways to play a modern GTA game too. It's just the vehicles and the world and like the weapons and way you can interact with the NPCs and everything. It's just something that's always been very entertaining. Even just to screw around in those games, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I love GTA Online, like the more random stuff, like the racing on like the Hot Wheels style tracks and everything. I had a ton of fun with. So
that's kind of why I question like the 70s theme, because I feel like that really limits your microtransaction potential.
So,
but we'll see. What's our next one? I can read it.
Thanks for writing in, Big Pimp Daddy.
Yes.
Big Colt. You want me to read it or you want to read it, Jacob?
I'll do it. So Fribes is asking, who is who? And he is referencing a photo that you posted actually, Garrett, from the meme section, I think. Mm-hmm. And he wants to know who is who in this picture.
Interestingly, it would make more sense if we judge these characters on their personalities versus their looks, because we don't look anything like these guys.
I don't know who these people are besides the bottom left guy.
So the dude on the top is from Inside Out, is her dad. He's like traditional American dad. And then Al from Al's Toy Barn is in the bottom left. And then the guy from Ratatouille is on the right. Jacob, you're definitely the guy from Ratatouille.
Why's that?
Because you just have, I don't know, something about him, his personality in the movie reminds me of you. Al from Al's Toy Barn.
I've got to be the crazy toy collector.
Yeah, I think you are. I think you are. With your displays. It's exactly like Al. And I guess I'm just a generic white dad from Inside Out.
Yeah, you are.
So, but there's something about him I think that is kind of funny too. I just can't remember what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. That works. I hadn't thought about it that way until just now. All right, Big Colt. I asked for Ratchet and Clank questions, so here it goes. Or Garrett did.
Oh, whoops.
So, since Ratchet is just Rivet from another dimension, if they got together and made a Lom Baby, does that make that Lom Baby Ratchet or Rivet, or a unique person? And would the Lom Baby be his or her own father and mother? What makes this question even funnier to me is just the edited part of it. Edited. I don't think it was seriously thought about and refined. You know what's funny about this is that I know they're technically like the same person, but it just makes it confusing because they're two different genders, and like two totally different backstories, different friends, different experiences. So they feel like two very different characters to me.
Well, their universes are totally different.
Yes, I feel like I feel like it'd be fine. It would just be.
I feel like it'd just be a normal lawn baby.
Yeah. I feel like for the granted, I've not finished the game, so I do not know if anything happens, but not in terms of like a romance, but just I know Ratchet is constantly searching for other Lombaxes, but you know, if they're all dead or can't find them, they kind of need to start popping them out. So it might be in their best interest.
True.
I think there would be too many memes and jokes if they're like the next game was like Ratchet and Rivet's child was the new main character.
What would they name the baby?
I know, because it's like all the character names are so creative.
Yeah.
Bolt, Nut.
Bolt, Nut.
No,
she calls
on.
Clank.
Wrench.
She calls Clank Bolts.
Bolts, that's
So
right.
It can't be that. Yeah, it's got to be like
Be something with an R. It only makes sense. It would be.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It'd be
Ratchet,
Rivet.
I
I can't think of.
can't think of a tool that starts with an R.
A wrench, except it doesn't start with R.
Reciprocating saw. That's it.
Perfect.
Or Ripper. Ratchet, Rivet, and Ripper.
Rusty.
Rusty.
There we go. This has potential.
That'd be kind of unique. I'm also not opposed to a Rivet and Kit game either. At the forefront, but
She, granted, like I said, I haven't finished the game, but she's got to be like a standard, like a staple in the franchise from here on out, or else
she's phenomenal.
I'm gonna be
She's
bummed
so good.
because I've very much enjoyed her character. Apparently, I've also
What if she doesn't make it?
I've also outed myself as a furry because I noticed her
talking about her thigh creases.
Her clothes move.
Dude, have you seen Ruby's thigh creases?
Now that I think about that, maybe that has been in other games, but somebody posted a picture on Instagram of their photo, and I just noticed how the clothes actually bent with her, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever noticed that in a game before. Like typically
it
they
actually
just
looks like clothing versus like
exactly.
Just a skin on like a,
that's what I meant.
Like a character
That's what I
model.
meant to
you
say.
wouldn't notice that.
Yeah, dude, I swear, guys.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, just keep it on the down low. But I don't think it's a big deal with them being in different dimensions and stuff. They have to have a different cellular DNA structure to where there wouldn't be any inbreeding or anything. At least I would like to think so. So
that's a good point.
yeah. Anyways, was that the rest of the question?
I'm gonna have one
Yes.
more.
Cool.
I want to talk more about the question, but it would also be spoilery. So
Yeah,
I'm
don't.
gonna give it another week.
I'm gonna beat it tomorrow
well, I mean, we're not gonna have another podcast
or
for
today.
like 2 months.
Or today.
so- All right, let's do our last one, Garrett.
Bake Jake 23. Could you guys talk about some of the hardest times you have laughed while playing video games? Whether that be laughing with people or because of the writing in the game. Most of my laughter has come with playing horror games with my friends, and those are some of my favorite memories. Also, I love RE8. Hope you three are well. Bake Jake, I think we are all well.
I love that he just throws that in there.
Yeah. Also, I love RE8. I also love that game.
Yes. Thank you for telling us. I think we were just talking about it. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that's up there.
It's got to be playing games with other people. Sea of Thieves, I've laughed so hard on. I think the last time I played Rainbow Six Siege was when we made that Let's Play.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard playing that.
I remember laughing a lot playing Infection and Halo 3 back in the day on Sand Trap.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
When we did the raid with the people from our Discord, that was freaking hilarious.
Oh, and Destiny.
Yeah, that was.
I still
so
sometimes
funny.
go back to watch that, and it still makes me
That's
laugh.
some of our best videos. Is that Rainbow Six Siege video, the Destiny video, and the Sea of Thieves video? Those are 3 classics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of the hardest times I've ever laughed was when we did the Let's Play of RE7 VR. Like when you like fell out of your chair. I think that's what we were playing.
Yeah, there's some.
They're just
definitely
playing.
some
When we were
moments.
get terrified was so funny.
That's funny because I remember I put so much work into those videos. I'm not upset about it, but sometimes I didn't realize like how few views they got. And there's like minute moments throughout all those videos that are just such random edits that are freaking hilarious. Because a few months ago I went back just to like watch some of them.
Yeah.
And because when I was editing them, I didn't really think about what I was doing when I was editing. I would edit one and just upload it and like never watch it again. But I was like surprised at like some of the stupid like small bits we have in those videos that are still funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most recently I laughed a lot at those goon bros in Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
they are so funny.
Yeah, them and Jim the Robot. I think Jim the Robot got me to laugh the most.
I'm trying to just because videos.
I just think it's funny. His name's Jim. That's a funny name for a robot.
Jim, yeah. Now, my favorite moment was when he goes around that corner in that cave. There's clearly like an enemy around the corner. He's like, "Oh, are you my new best friend?" And some goon bro's like, "What are you talking about, dude?" or something. It's so funny.
Oh, that's great. Were those So I have not played the older Ratchet and Clank games, and that was actually one of the I was gonna try and get the whole series on PS3, but dude, those games are expensive. Like, really? Yes, stupid expensive. Especially
there's a lot of them, aren't there?
Well, they have the collection on PS3, which is Ratchet and Clank, Full Frontal Assault, and then Up Your Arsenal. I believe is the original trilogy. That's like over $100 for that.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Going Commando.
Tools of Destruction is really expensive. Then there's Quest for Booty, which I think was a limited release, and that's very expensive. Then there's Into the Nexus, which I believe is pretty pricey.
So many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. Then there's.
I only played the original and Going Commando.
Yeah, maybe Going Commando was the second one.
Going Commando was number 2.
Okay, then Up Your Arsenal was 3.
I think that was 3.
Do you think they'll remake any other ones, or you think they'll just continue with like?
I think they'll just continue. I think the only reason they remade the first one was to coincide with the movie release.
Mm-hmm.
And to sort of reboot the series. That's probably a good place to start because it was like the beginning of Ratchet's journey.
Apparently, I followed the Ratchet and Clank subreddit for a little bit. And apparently it is very like hardcore Ratchet and Clank fans do not like the remake because it took apparently a lot of content out of the original game.
I think that's true.
Like some planets were cut.
There was
and
a lot more worlds and stuff.
But granted, in their defense, that was a $40 game that came out, like I said, with the movie. So
which is funny because I didn't know any better and I loved it.
Yeah, same here. Like I still thought it was fantastic.
I mean, I remember that game being a lot harder too, but I was also a dumb kid, so it probably wasn't that hard.
Yeah,
it was probably pretty easy.
I
used to struggle so much with those games.
I think it couldn't be like the easiest thing.
I didn't give myself enough credit as a kid because I got all the achievements in Mass Effect 2, and like I told you, I was shocked how hard it was on Insanity. And for me to beat that several years ago on 360, I'm kind of impressed I was able to do that. Or even like I platinumed World at War, which is an absolutely ridiculously hard game.
All the grenades and everything.
Yes, and I was able to get that platinum. So I probably was a better gamer back then than I am now. Now that I think about it, especially online, I'm sure my like high school self would absolutely destroy me in an online game, at least on console. So,
Garrett, guess what I just found?
What's that?
Our Pokemon Go video.
Oh yeah, we had a couple of those.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found the one where I'm like holding leaves in the beginning. I don't know what's going on.
Are there any more questions?
We're in the woods.
Behind your house.
I had my long hair in that video.
Yeah. Your hair was so long.
Sometimes I forget I had that. And I find videos like that. I'm like, what the heck?
Was that our final question?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope for more hearty laughs in the future in video games.
For sure.
Yeah.
Laughing with the boys.
We should play some more games together. We haven't done it in a while.
I know. I've been trying to get Preston to play Halo. Zach and I are having a ton of fun.
Can you not play Halo?
I mean, that's an option. But we got Modern Warfare. We got Battlefield coming up.
Gotta play that.
We played Overwatch for a little while. I think we all just collectively got frustrated after a while playing Overwatch, but
I play that game sometimes right now.
it is fun.
I would play Call of Duty or Overwatch. Or, hey, I would play that one game we were playing. What was that little like dwarf game we were doing?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forget what it's called.
We all bought it.
Oh,
What
yeah.
it is. I'm finding
Can't
it.
remember what it's called.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah. We didn't give that game much of a chance. Preston and I still need to finish It Takes Two.
We do.
We laughed
Yeah,
about
we
some
keep
stuff
saying
in that
that
game. I
and you
can't remember
don't
what
do
it
it.
was. We got a couple laughs out of it.
That was a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
We could play Monopoly
We could.
or Uno.
You guys just buy your PS3s, buy some PS3s, and we can.
How much did you buy your PS3 for?
I got the PS3 with a bunch of games.
Is it less than $100
No.
for the console?
You could probably find a console for less than 100.
I mean, I would pay $100 for it. I
You
think
could probably
realistically,
find one
I'd pay
for
like
100.
$120 for a PS3.
I think you could find one. I also bought
I'm not doing that.
I bought a brand new copy of Splinter Cell Blacklist for like $5 off Amazon.
Dope.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can use the DualSense with the
Yeah.
PS3, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, let's play Mario Golf.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
We're all in on that.
That's what we're doing.
We're
Let's
hitting
do
the course.
Do you have to
It comes
have
Yes, you do.
the online service?
Yeah. Come on, Jacob.
I
you can
forgot about
spend
that,
like $5. I
I
think
think
a
it's
whole
$20, isn't it?
for a whole year. You can do a month though.
No,
Month's like $5.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. But I got to buy the game too.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
So it's
$60,
a lot.
man. No questions asked.
For
No
it-
loopholes
yeah.
in Nintendo. You're paying every last cent.
for years.
Yeah.
I hope my Switch still
Breath of-
works. I need to.
Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey just went down to like $40 recently.
That's why I haven't bought them again. It's because they're so expensive, and I miss both those games. I miss Mario.
I mean, I don't
Tennis.
blame them. People buy them. So
I
it's
know.
like-
I get it. Like, I'm not even
Yeah.
mad about it. It's just a bummer to me.
Yeah.
I was thinking about starting Hades soon. I really want to play that game.
Good game. Very fun.
Did you finish it?
No. I played
I
a
also did
decent
not
amount of
finish
it. Returnal is the only roguelike game I've ever beaten. So
Because it's PlayStation. Hashtag #LifeStabBoy. And you get trophies. so.
maybe.
If Hades had
Yeah.
trophies, press
Well,
it on
Hades is coming to PlayStation August. So
Ah,
maybe.
I'd rather play it on Switch or PC.
I got it on
Where the
PC.
real gamers play
I got it on
I have it
PC
on
for
Switch.
free.
for free.
For free. Well, I got a gift card for Christmas or something, and I bought that and that Viking game.
Oh, yeah. People still playing that?
Oh, what's that called?
I'm sure some people are playing it. I'm sure the developers
Valheim.
made
We
their
kind of got in a roll there, and we just fell off a cliff.
yeah. That was
we
a fun
just
game.
stopped.
Literally, or
Cold turkey.
We beat one boss.
Valheim.
Valheim, yeah. All right, guys, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
crap. That's insane. We started at like 9:30.
no, we didn't. We started like 10.
We got on the voice call at or whatever we're on meeting at 9:20ish. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like a 30-minute delay because Den was happy.
Yeah. Well, boys, it was great as always. Love talking about games, and glad we're still able to play them. And
Mm-hmm.
grateful for the community surrounding us, and thank you all for writing in questions and staying alive on Discord. I feel bad because I don't interact as much on Discord, but I do read everything. Especially I'm always on the meme page, so thank you guys to all of you artists out there that are sharing some just total bangers as always. And we love you to bits. Appreciate the support, and we'd love to play any of these number of games. If you guys are going to pick up Mario Golf, let us know. We can do a tournament. One of those rush tournaments with the community would be fun. And of course, various multiplayer games coming later this year. We'd love to team up with you and as well. But that's it for me, boys.
Yep. Thank you guys again for listening. Yeah. keep those memes coming.
Oh,
I'll be in the Discord. I'll be chatting. Yeah.
Keep them coming. Make sure everybody goes out and buys Skyward Sword HD as well.
When's that come
this
out?
week? I believe this week.
Wait,
I'm
really?
a golfer.
I think so.
Oh my
So
god!
I will be playing golf before I get to that. But I probably will play that later in the
I
year.
want to play that.
It's a I believe it gets a little too much hate in my opinion. So really good game. I think because it's not it's kind of got like we expect Zelda games to be otherworldly, and this one is just like really good. It's not perfect, but I still think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
I'll let you know if I play.
I'll see you guys on the
bye.
green.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye bye.
See you.
Bye bye.